Welcome back to Legalese 123, where we are covering cases across America. Hello and welcome to Legalese 123. I'm your host, Missy K. I hope you are doing well on this Monday, the 6th of, it's not the 6th, it's the 9th of March. Can't go back in time. Oh my goodness. How are you doing on this lovely Monday? Did the time change get you? Usually it doesn't affect me until later on in the week when I'm like, oh my gosh, that hour, I want that hour back. But it is nice to have like the sun shining a little bit earlier. Wasn't that much earlier, but it's okay. It's okay. It's a little hard. So if you had problems with the time change, I get you. It's a process. So what do we got going on today? Well, today we are in the midst of the Kouri Richins trial, day 10. That is correct. What's going on? Well, they've got some shenanigans going on, and we will see in just a minute. But I wanted to tell you a couple of things. First of all, we are going to start our day out with a very, very interesting and lovely quote. It says, "Do not fear failure, but rather fear not trying." So I thought that was a very lovely quote, fear of not trying. And so this is what we're doing. Today, we're bringing you the live Kouri Richins trial. Normally, I'm not live. I normally have people who are working from home, and I don't want to disturb them with my yakety yak yak. So I usually just go ahead and record something, and then I shoot it on over to the tubes of the U, etc. But today we get to go live because it'd just be a little bit easier as far as downloading and streaming, etc. What do I want to talk about today? Well, if you have not heard of this lovely little guy, I want to introduce you to Punch. If you haven't seen him already, Punch is this little monkey, or maybe I'm not sure if he's an orangutan. He's a little monkey. His name is Punch. He lives in a zoo in Japan, and they rescued him. Something happened to his mother, and so they gave him a stuffed animal orangutan as a sort of surrogate, and he carries it around with him. And now they've included him with some of his own kind. So we're going to just watch Punch a little bit. And he carries this little guy around, and sometimes
The story of a lonely monkey clinging to a stuffed toy for comfort has made the whole world want to adopt him. But in Punch's heart, there are only his caretakers.
he always clings to his caretakers.
Shortly after Punch was born, his mother abandoned him, leaving two zookeepers, Shikano and Miyakoshi, to step in to keep him alive. They hand-raised Punch with round-the-clock bottle feeding and monitored him closely, ensuring he survived those fragile first weeks. After his physical health stabilized, they helped Punch integrate into the troop and gave him a soft, stuffed orangutan to act as a surrogate companion, knowing how important comfort and bonding are for young primates. Even though Punch always holds on to the plushie and treats it as his mom, when the zookeepers show up, he immediately leaves his favorite toy behind and clings to the zookeepers tightly, refusing to let them go. They tried to put him down and distract him with the plushie, but that doesn't work. Punch even climbs higher and holds on them tighter. Since Shikano and Miyakoshi have a soft spot for Punch, they eventually give up and just let Punch hang around like this.
Isn't that the cutest?
Much like everyone else following Punch's journey, the zookeepers really care about him and adore this little bean. Their ultimate goal is to help Punch learn the rules of monkey society and be accepted as a member.
He's crying. Aww.
Despite the journey being quite tough, Punch eventually makes it. He's making new friends now and slowly adapting to the new environment. But whenever he sees his dads, Punch still can't help but run to them like a little kid.
Isn't that the cutest thing you've ever seen? I mean, so if you get so if you like looked it up on any of your social media pages, you'll see it come up quite frequently. So Punch, the little orangutan or monkey, I'm not really sure, but he's got his little orange orangutan plush buddy that he carries around with him, and people are flocking there left, right, and center. So they are getting a lot of attention at the zoo, which is adorable. All right, so let's see if we can get into the Kouri Richins trial. From what I understand, they've got some issues. So let's get into this and see where we're at.
And the other information that'll be coming in through Detective O'Driscoll. Let's start with schedule. Mr. Bloodworth, who are the state's anticipated witnesses today?
Ooh, who are we going to get today?
Your Honor, Kouri Wright.
Kouri Wright, yes.
Matthew Throckmorton.
Mr. Throckmorton.
Jamie Woody. Todd Gabler. And then if we get there, Jeff O'Driscoll.
There's probably a lengthy discussion regarding the state's motions and defendants' positions regarding the jail calls, the interview transcript that we need to have prior to Detective O'Driscoll. Is that your sense of it?
Yes, Your Honor.
So if we're going to have that before he gets on the stand, we're going to have it today, which means he's probably not getting on the stand today.
Agreed.
Okay.
Not going to happen,
Ms.
Mr.
Lewis,
Bloodworth.
no one looking at me, so I'll just ask you, does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So we'll plan to at least, if not have that discussion sometime today. Then, let's see. The state filed a motion regarding exhibits 8-57R and 8-63R. Need to make sure I give defendant an opportunity to respond to that. Ms. Lewis, what are your thoughts?
No,
Ooh,
I
look at
believe
Kouri
those
today.
are the videos. Is that correct? The
Black.
videos of the interviews with Carmen. I wasn't sure what they
Well,
were.
It's the
Yeah, it's 857
consistent
through
portions.
63.
My apologies. That's right.
And we've submitted the transcript, but of course, a video would be redacted once we make a decision based on the transcript.
Okay. 'Cause, yeah, I didn't see the specific if those are the redacted. Wasn't able to look at them. I just saw that.
They're all filed as separate docket entries.
There's this.
If you just joined in, we are just starting the Kouri Richins trial for day 10. So far, they're going over the little chatty chat things that they're doing before court, making sure to see what's going to come in, what isn't going to come in. Are they going to get their crap straight today?
6,
If you were here on
common law
Friday,
interviews involving Summit County Sheriff's Office and one involving the United States Attorney's Office. And these are redacted portions of those 6 interviews.
on Friday, they spent more than half of the day just fighting about what's going to come in and what isn't going to come in.
Used to rehabilitate Carmen Lauber.
Okay.
Oh,
I guess I need to look at the redacted version. I didn't realize that. I was looking through what the state files in box to get to us, and it
What?
wasn't in there when I was looking at it yesterday evening. So
these are the attachments to the motion that was filed over the weekend.
and we have the same objection to the motion. I mean, it's the same objection. I will have to look at the redacted
What's
version.
the
but
I'm not
motion?
sure what you mean by same objection, but let's not spend time on that now. The state is
Right.
designating specific portions, a very limited subset of the 900 pages of combined
All right.
transcript as consistent statements to rebut a charge of either recent fabrication or pressure to change her testimony. I'm going to have to make a ruling regarding each of them.
Okay, I'll read them. The redacted
Interesting.
versions. Sorry,
Okay.
I misunderstood what.
So just to reorient you, Carmen Lauber is the housekeeper of Kouri Richins, and she took the stand sometime last week and stated that she was the one that Kouri had contacted her to contact Robert Crozier to get said paraphernalia for her. And then, if you don't recall, recently the defense learned that Carmen she was on what's called drug court, and they learned that she violated her drug court, but it wasn't given to them. Well, they ended up realizing that it was given to them within the right time frame, but that they didn't use it against her. And so now they're all up in arms about what they're going to do about rebutting her testimony.
filed.
So that's that. What's a reasonable time to have that conversation, Ms. Lewis?
I'm gonna try and look at them this morning. I don't know, let me pull them up and then maybe
Okay.
at the break we can talk about that.
I'm not okay. We'll check back
Lady.
in about that.
This lady behind them, she looked like she wanted to say something.
I had them to bring it in. It's this much paper,
Look
and
at her,
so it may be more than
She's
you
invested.
can do between now and the lunch break, but let's be reasonable. Mr. Bloodworth.
Your Honor, I think that's a prerequisite to having a full discussion on Jeff O'Driscoll's testimony.
Is that true? Why is that true?
Why?
Why don't
Well,
those issues stand alone or stand independently?
Your Honor, they do stand independently, but
All right. Sometimes
Jeff
I
O'Driscoll will likely
bumped
be the
it up a little
state's
bit.
last witness. We would then move, or
Bump it
then
up.
use those exhibits as part of his direct examination.
Sometimes
That makes
just-
sense to me. Okay. I understand that. Okay. Let's see. Defendant's motion for mistrial regarding the alleged Giglio
Another
violation
one?
that was mentioned on the record. I asked defendant to file that in writing. They did. It's docket 1691. Need to give the state an opportunity to respond to that. What's reasonable, Mr. Bloodworth?
Your Honor, state can respond right
91.
now.
I'm going to need some details that I'm not sure you can provide right now. Even if you can, having it in writing would help me keep it all straight, even if it's just the factual position about what was provided when.
Okay, so if you're new here, guess what? The defense has filed for a mistrial a second time. I kid you not. This is going to be the theme throughout everything. So remember, okay, if you don't remember, there was I think it was a juror who had some sort of an issue, and so they wanted to file a mistrial because the juror had some issue with somebody. It's a non-issue, and if they want to, they could just kick that juror off. But here we are.
Your Honor, we can do that. I don't think that the state disagrees on the facts
Okay.
laid out in the defense's motion, but we can provide something to the court in writing tomorrow morning.
That's fine. And if that's the case, it sounds like it won't be burdensome to produce it or to draft it.
No, Your Honor, it's not too burdensome.
Okay, sounds good.
Your Honor, just maybe a heads up, can I refer to the court to State v. Bisner? That will feature in the state's response.
I look forward to reading it after I get your response.
Right.
Okay.
Put it in
Very
writing, Mr. Bloodworth.
Then, Ms. Lewis, there's also
Mr. Bloodworth, we don't want a preview of what is going on. We just need it in writing, please, because the court needs to make a record. Thank you.
the oral motion for mistrial that you made at sidebar regarding references to quote unquote charges in State's Exhibit 2-46. That was on March 5. We provided a curative instruction to the jury on that. Is that something your defendant is standing by, or is that motion withdrawn?
I have a minute.
Why are we focusing on this is Eric's dad, and this is O'Driscoll right here. He's the lead detective on the
2-46.
case.
This is the video, the audio recording. The
This is
two-part audio
Amy, one of the
recording that was played.
sisters, Eric
It's a recorded
Richins'
telephone
sister.
conversation.
This is Katie.
Oh.
This is the
Your
other
client
sister, and
used
that's
the
her
word
husband.
charges. I instructed
They've
the jury
already
that referred to
testified.
civil
That's right.
litigation.
That motion's withdrawn.
Pretty
Thank
key minute
goodness.
of that in the minutes.
Defense,
Alright.
I love you, but
Okay, that's what I had on my initial to-do list. Mr. Bloodworth, anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Nestor, Ms. Lewis?
No.
Okay. I've already forgotten the order of witnesses. Mr. Wright?
Yes, sir.
And just confirming, you've reminded Mr. Wright of the bounds of the court's prior ruling regarding his testimony.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Bloodworth, are we ready for the jury?
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, that simplifies that. We're going to take a 5-minute break and locate the juror who has not yet arrived. All right, very good. We'll be recessed.
all right. While they're finding their missing juror, I'm going to kind of try to see if I can zoom ahead. So if you don't know who Mr. Wright is the business partner of Eric Richins. Eric Richins owned a stone masonry business with him. Stone masonry is, like if you have stone on your house or you have stone in your yard, all the stone. And wow, they still haven't found the juror. I waited to come back on so we had Zoom room, but boy, oh boy, oh boy, that is not the case because they're still not in trial yet. Oh my goodness. Oh, here we go. So the business partner is going to be key. And one of the things that's going to be key with him is that, as you may or may not remember, Kouri Richins is also being charged with her first attempt in unaliving Eric Richins, which was she gave him a breakfast sandwich laced with something. We don't know. We don't know if it was opioids or whether or not it was fentanyl at the time. We know that he had an allergic reaction to it. It was on February 14th, Valentine's Day. She bought a sandwich from the Mirror Lake Diner, gave it to him. He had some sort of reaction to it. And there are text messages between her and him that he says he's going to go lay down. She's like, just go take a nap. It's okay. Just go take a nap. So I believe, and I could be wrong, that the business partner, he was on the phone with the business partner that day as well. So let's continue on. Let's see what we have. Oh, we can't hear anything.
Mr. Bloodworth, are we ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor, but before we call Kouri Wright, the state was going to publish 8-8. That's the exhibit that we had held off on publishing to blur some faces on.
Very good. Remind me what's depicted in it. I can't quite remember.
Your Honor, it's about a 35-second video from a gathering on March the 5th, 2022, that shows the defendant, Chelsea, Barney, Bryce Knutson, and others.
Celebrate.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Lewis, I think I've already ruled on any objections to that, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So we'll start in that way. I'll have you introduce it and just offer it again.
Okay.
Ms. Lewis, Ms. Nestor, anything before we invite the jury in? Okay. let's do it.
All right, here we go. Court's in session. Oh, I need my little gavel. Oh my
Just have a
goodness.
seat as you come in.
Bring the jury. All right, here we go.
Please have a seat.
Court's in session on
Ladies
this
and gentlemen, thank you
10th,
for your patience. We'll
on
continue
the
with additional evidence
day
from the
10
state.
of Kouri Richins' trial on the 9th of March.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, on Thursday, the court took testimony from Chelsea Gibson, who referenced a celebration on March the 5th, 2022.
We could just
And
see the
state,
video.
was redacting some children's faces from the video. The state now moves that Exhibit 8-8 into evidence and moves to publish it.
Chelsea Barney, correct?
Barney, did I say Gibson again?
Yes, sorry. Chelsea Barney, March 5, 2022.
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. Let me get that up.
All right, now we're going to watch the video of the celebration of life of Eric Richins.
Can you folks see that okay? Very good. Scott, please proceed.
And it does have some audio.
It has some audio, but
It's not coming through. It doesn't sound like.
all right. I don't know why that is. Scott, let's try again.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, we admitted this through Ali Staking, not Chelsea Barney.
Understood. Scott, would you pause? Would you disconnect and reconnect, and we'll just start over? Check the settings on your end, please.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Okay, ready? Okay, I'm getting all three.
Cheers, boys.
Yep, come back in the corner with us. There we go.
Richard.
Richard.
Richard. Yep. Richard.
Look, Chachi's still going.
Oh. You were an Afghanistan warrior.
Oh my goodness.
You are an Afghanistan warrior.
Well, I don't see what's so damaging about that video. Do you? I mean, there are people that are drinking and having fun and laughing. I don't know.
Next witness, please.
Your Honor, the state calls Kouri Right.
Cody Wright. Here we go.
Mr. Wright, good morning. You step in front of Brittany, we'll get you sworn in.
Witness number 40, Mr. Cody Wright. He is the business manager of Eric Richins.
Matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury. Thank you. Have a seat.
Ooh, here we go. Oh, what is he going to say? She looks a little worried.
Please proceed.
Good morning, sir. What, sir, is your name?
Cody Wright.
Spelled W-R-I-G-H-T?
Yep,
you know Eric?
I did.
How?
Eric was a really good friend of mine and also business partner. Met him in high school. He was an acquaintance of my brother. Met him through him. Became good friends through the hunting world. He was a rancher. I liked hard work. He loved hard work. And we became friends almost immediately through that. That led to a lifelong of events together and fun together and work together. We had a lot of good times. Shortly after I met him, he came to work for a family business as a hod tender. Got to teach him what hod tending is all about and hard work that way, which was fun. We both served LDS missions. Shortly after that, came home, continued to work together through that family business. In 2010, we decided that it was time to separate from that business and start our own. We started our own masonry company together, and that was another journey in and of itself. That was fun.
Is that masonry company C&E?
Yes, C&E Stone Masonry.
Is that for Cody and Eric?
Yes. And we worked in that masonry company together for almost 12 years, 11 and a half years or so.
How often would you see him when running your company together?
See him a couple times a week, probably. We ate lunch fairly often. In the fall, I saw him a lot as we were out in the hills and doing fun stuff, whether it be on the ranch or up in the mountains. We spent a
Oh,
lot of time together in the fall. We spent a lot of lunches together while we worked and things like that, but talked to him pretty much every day on the phone if I didn't see him.
When you talk about spending a lot of time together in the fall, is that hunting?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time.
About how many days each fall would the two of you hunt together?
We would spend the end of August and most of September, and sometimes October, and sometimes November, and sometimes that bled into December, January, and February. But
And would you
quite a few days.
would you travel together to hunt?
Yes, we went on different trips as well.
What was Eric's personality?
Eric's feisty. Eric's hardworking. Eric's the life of the party. Eric's funny. Depends where he's at and what he's doing. He can be very fun to be around, very comforting at times, and also he can tell you what you've done wrong and make sure that you knew that it was wrong and that should have been done differently. And so, good personality.
oh, so sad.
What was he like personality-wise in business?
Business, he was serious. He took that very serious. That was one of the things that he was very passionate about. He wanted to grow C&E. He wanted to be successful. He wanted to do the best he could with that. He came from a background of hard work and business as well, and saw that and wanted to replicate that from his parents, I'm sure. But he was very serious when it came to business, wanted to make sure that things were done right, and wanted to grow that business.
Were you able to interact with Eric and his boys?
Yes.
What are some examples of that?
One that comes to mind was he asked me, I did a lot of baseball growing up. I pitched in particular, and he asked me to work with Carter with some pitching lessons. We went over and worked with Carter and helped him learn how to pitch. That was one that comes to mind.
What was Eric like as a father?
Competitive, dedicated. He wanted to know what my kids were up to so he could tell me what his kids were up to and how well they were doing as well. He wanted his kids to be the best on the team. He wanted them to succeed. He wanted to make sure that I knew that how well they'd done over the weekend and how good they were doing in all their sports.
Wow.
What was your business relationship in C&E?
We were 50-50 partners. So we were, I ran half the business, he ran half the business, although that wasn't like a perfectly straight line, right? We did paver, stone, tile work. I took care of tile and paver work. Eric took care of the stonework side. So we did have it split to where he took care of his projects, I took care of mine. We overlapped in the bookwork end of things or in the administration side of things. But as far as work went, he had relationships with people that I didn't. And so he would take care of those clients and I would take care of others.
How many people did C&E employ in early 2022?
Approximately 90.
And
Wow.
about how many projects at any given time was C&E running?
When Eric passed, I obviously stepped into a full-time role in that whole business. I remember counting 47 projects.
What was C&E's business outlook in early 2022?
Good. It was great. Business was good and business continued to be good and was projecting upward each year. We'd done a little bit more and it was definitely on its way up.
Mm.
Did you and Eric have any plans for the business before he passed?
We had, I'm more conservative than Eric was. And so my plan was always to just be okay with where we were at. Eric's plan was, let's grow this thing and keep going. And I was like, good with where we were at a lot of the time. He definitely was very motivated to continue to do more and more and be better and get bigger and better.
Was that the
C&E have
answer
an
you're looking
office?
for?
It had my house and a small office at Eric's house. We both had home offices, and so we ran the business from his office and my office at our residential home.
Did Eric use a C&E computer?
Yes,
Did he keep that at his home office?
yes,
Did you and Eric have a C&E email account?
yes.
How did that work?
It was a joint email. If you know him or I, you know that we're not technology people, and so one email was enough to handle. So we had one email that we both would look into. That all of our emails would come through. That way, we could make sure that we were taking care of each other as well. That seemed to work, and so that's what we did.
Did C&E receive its America First Credit Union bank statements by email?
Yes,
Are you generally familiar with Kouri Richins Realty?
generally familiar.
Did there come a time when C&E assisted Kouri Richins Realty?
Yes.
How did that come about?
Eric called
Ooh.
me, was distraught. I said that some things had happened in their home that
Object to hearsay.
Sustained, please rephrase. Or just keep moving.
Your Honor, clear.
Sure.
Uh-oh. I wonder if they think that like these statements should come in because it's like a state of mind. Wow, Mr. Bloodworth fighting for this one.
Sir, did there come a time when C&E assisted Kouri Richins' business?
yes.
How did C&E, without saying anything that Eric told you, how did C&E assist Kouri Richins' business?
There was a loan that was needed to be had for that business that was asked for, where C&E would provide the funds to fund a project, and C&E did provide those funds.
Was that a loan rather than an investment?
It was a loan.
Was it in extraordinary circumstances that caused C&E to loan Kouri Richins money?
There was a need for that loan. There was a need for that money to make sure that financial things were going to happen for reimbursement.
And was that related to a Kouri Richins Realty project on Franson Lane?
Yes,
And was that in October of 2020?
yes, please,
And was that approximately $200,000?
approximately.
Are you familiar with a buy-sell agreement that you and Eric had in place should anything happen to either of you?
Yes,
Are you familiar with the New York life insurance policy, a set of New York life insurance policies that were associated with that buy-sell agreement?
yes,
Are you familiar with a series of beneficiary changes to the New York life policy on your life in January of 2022?
Kouri is, oh, shoot. My computer locked up. Kouri is giving face. Look at that face. She is giving face again. Kouri.
there was a need for that loan. There was a need for that money to make sure that financial things were going to happen for reimbursement.
And was that related to a Kouri Richins Realty project on Franson Lane?
Yes,
And was that in October of 2020?
yes, please.
Was that approximately $200,000?
approximately.
Hmm. She don't like that.
Are you familiar with a buy-sell agreement that you and Eric had in place should anything happen to either of you?
Yes,
Are you familiar with a New York life insurance policy, a set of New York life insurance policies that were associated with that buy-sell agreement?
yes,
Are you familiar with the series of beneficiary changes to the New York life policy on your life in January of 2022?
I was told those happened.
Did you make those beneficiary changes to your New York life policy in January of 2022?
I did not.
Did you ever make any beneficiary changes to that New York life policy?
No.
Did you ever observe Eric Richins make any beneficiary changes to that New York life policy?
No.
Yikes.
Your Honor.
Of course.
Your Honor, I'm approaching the witness with Exhibit 8-49. It's some handwriting exemplars I think everyone's familiar with. Then I need to lay some foundation on. So can you please turn to tab 2?
Okay, so he didn't make any changes to NY Life.
Sir, did you collect those business and haircut receipts from C&E's records?
Yes,
Can you turn to tab 3? Did you recover those documents from Integrated Solutions?
I'm looking at an IRS e-file signature authorization form 8879. Is that?
Would you repeat the tab number, Mr. Bloodworth?
Tab 3.
Maybe just take a look to make sure you and the witness are on the same page.
Oh boy. Uh-oh, Mr. Bloodworth. Where you at?
These 4 pages of tab 3. Sir, did you collect those documents from Integrated Solutions, those 4 pages in tab 3?
What are they?
We requested any signatures that they might have to be sent.
And did they then provide those to you?
Yes.
Sir, can you turn to tab 7, please?
Going over signatures of Eric Richins, because remember, she's also being charged with like forging documents.
Did you request and obtain from Big D Construction those documents containing Eric Richins' signature?
Same thing. We asked if they had any signatures and if they could send those over. If they did, provide those for us.
And then, sir, tab 13. Did you request and retrieve those documents from the Ford dealership?
I did not request the ones from Labor and Ford.
Who did?
The documents at tabs 2, 3, and 7, did you then provide those to Katie Richins?
Yes.
I'll get that from you. Thank you. Scott, if you can bring up 10-89, please. Defense Exhibit 10-89.
What's this one?
He has.
John, I'm sorry, we don't have it.
You should. Mr. Wright, can you see that photograph on your screen?
So I can.
Okay,
see it on the app.
Ms. Nestor, can you see it on your screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll fix that during a break, Mr. Blevin.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Your Honor, can the court publish a defense admitted this into evidence with mistaking?
Brittany, will you just confirm that that's correct? I don't recall. Yeah, defendants 1089-10. Trust and verify. Okay, very good. There you are.
Sir, are you married to Allie Wright?
Yes.
Is Allie Wright in this photograph?
No.
Thank you. Sir, have you ever observed Eric sick or injured?
Yes.
Can you give some examples, please?
Eric had Lyme disease at one point. Saw him when he had COVID. I saw him when he had a cold. I saw him when he had the flu. I saw him when he had back pain. Hunched over from lifting a rock and tweaking his back to where he could barely walk.
How did Eric react to illness or injury?
He's a cowboy. Eric is a go get him. He's not going to sit at home because he's sick. He's not going to stay home because he has COVID. He's not going to not show up because he's feeling under the weather. He's very tough-spirited, rough-hearted, and as far as not being a wimp goes.
Other than allergy medication, have you ever seen Eric use over-the-counter drugs?
No.
Have you ever seen Eric use prescription drugs?
No.
Have you ever seen Eric use illicit drugs?
I have never seen him use illicit drugs.
Sir, do you recall receiving a phone call from Eric at approximately 2 p.m. on Valentine's Day, 2022?
Yes.
Here we go. Here we
Without
go.
saying what Eric said.
Okay. Here we go. Just to recap, on February 14th, this is when the alleged first attempt happened when she gave him a breakfast sandwich.
To you. Why is it you remember that phone call?
The fear in his voice, the urgency of the situation, the seriousness of what was going on.
Had you ever heard Eric sound like that before?
The only other times I heard that urgency and that fear when he called me telling me that his mother had passed away in the hospital. I also heard that urgency or that fear when he had been rear-ended in an accident and feared that the person that had hit him had passed away as well, or had hit him hard enough that he was scared of what had just happened.
Thank you, sir. I don't have any further questions.
Oh, I thought there was going to be more.
Ms. Nestor, please.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. Good morning, sir. You and I've met before, but just to remind you, I'm Kathy Nestor, and I'm one of Kouri's attorneys. So I want to talk to you about C&E a little bit. You mentioned that the, excuse me, Your Honor. You mentioned that the company was growing about the time Eric passed away, right? Yes?
Yes, it was slowly growing, yeah.
Okay. And you guys split everything 50-50.
Financially and in the administration part of the business, yes.
So whatever you made in a year, he made in a year.
Yes.
So in 2022, how much did you earn that year?
Objection, not relevant.
Huh. Can they get that in? Huh. We're gonna catch up. Ooh. Come on, sound.
State the same question.
Yes, sir. So how much did you earn let's say 2021, the year before, just a few months before Eric died, how much did you clear that year income
Are you talking personally or in the business or
personally?
personally? I don't have those numbers in front of me. I'm not positive what that number would be.
Was it more than $500,000?
Personally, no.
Do you know that, do you know what Eric made in 2021?
Mr. Bloodworth, go ahead.
Objection foundation.
It's a yes or no question, so if you would start there. Overrule.
Do you know what Eric made in 2021?
No, not off the top of my head.
So if there's tax returns that have already come in that indicate, that came in through an expert, that indicate he declared around 900, between 700 and $900,000, would that be way off base? for the year?
You pause there for Mr. Bloodworth.
Objection foundation.
Yeah, you approach for a minute.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I don't know if they can get into it with him. Plus, he doesn't have the.
Foundation is
Plus,
Ms. Nestor.
what did he
Foundation
say?
is sustained. Ms. Nestor.
Yeah.
All right. Did you, at the time that Eric died, did you project that your company was going to continue to increase in value and resulting in increased income to both of you over the years?
Before he passed, you're
Yes.
asking? Yes, we would have projected that our company would continue to grow.
And
That's what he
fair
said.
to say that you both would be financially secure as long as that continued to happen.
As long as that continued to happen, yes.
All right.
Sure.
At one point before Eric passed, you actually had Kouri Richins on your payroll. Is that right?
Correct.
And she would get monthly income from your company?
Correct.
And do you remember how much she would get?
Ms. Nestor, I apologize for interrupting. Mr. Wright, I need you to answer just a little bit louder.
You bet.
Brittany's listening on the mic. We're not picking it up. Go ahead.
So you had Kouri on the payroll, right?
Yes.
How much was she making every month? Do you remember?
I don't recall.
And then when Eric passed, isn't it true that Kouri asked to be removed from the payroll?
I do not believe she asked to be removed from the payroll. We continued to pay her for some time after he passed.
Like a week.
I recall it being longer than a week,
How long do you recall it being?
a couple of months.
You also had as part of your company a business called Fox Lake Investments, right?
Correct.
And Fox Lakes was separate from C&E, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. Scope.
Yep.
Sustained.
Yep. Okay, so she can't get into Fox Lake because, especially with this witness, because Mr. Bloodworth didn't bring anything up about Fox Lake. So it's only within what he asked this witness that you can't, he's not her witness. Will he be her witness? They
Did you
really
at
want to
one
get to
point
this
engage
Fox
in
Lake
house flipping
investment.
like Kouri Richins had through your C&E business?
Through C&E,
Not through C&E, through Fox Lake, through anything.
Objection, Your Honor. Scope.
Sustained.
Right. Scope.
Okay.
Can't get into it.
All right, let's talk about the Fransom Lane property. The Fransom Lane property, you just testified that you gave a loan or invested or whatever word you want to call it, about $200,000, right?
approximately.
And do you know what that money was used for?
The money was used for fixing up that home,
Rehab costs.
rehab costs.
And you got all of your money back plus interest. Is that correct?
I believe we did, yes.
And do you know how much interest or profit you made on that?
I don't recall.
And you talked about a buy-sell agreement that you guys had, and you just discussed that with Mr. Bloodworth. The buy-sell agreement is basically when partners in a business buy an insurance policy on each other, right?
Correct.
So that if Eric died, you would get money. If you died, Eric would get money, right?
Correct.
And the idea of that policy is that you pay the family member to divest from your business and say, look, here's the $2 million. Please don't be a partner with me. I don't want to be partners with you. I just want to pay you $2 million and you go away and you're done with this business, right?
The idea of it is to do whatever the contract states. So whatever is in that contract would be followed.
And was it your understanding that your buy-sell agreement would allow whichever person survived the other partner to pay that money to the family, and then the family would not be involved in the business from there forward?
In our buy-sell agreement, we had it so that the proceeds would go to the family.
Right. And Mr. Bloodworth talked to you about a beneficiary change on the buy-sell agreement, right?
Yes.
And that occurred on January 1st of
That's
20.
not our foundation. The beneficiary change is on the life insurance policy, not the buy-sell agreement.
I think that's what Ms. Nestor meant.
That's what I meant.
Appreciate the clarification.
Thank you. So the beneficiary to the life insurance that backed up the buy-sell agreement was changed on January 1st of 2022. Is that right?
I was told that.
Okay. And were you in fact told when you learned about this that the policy that was changed was your policy, not Eric's?
So the way that I understood that is the policy is on the person who is still alive. And I don't recall exactly the words that they used to tell me that it had been switched. They told me that someone had logged in and switched that beneficiary, and that was
To your policy.
I don't
right?
recall the exact words that he used in that moment.
Well, think about it. You remember everything else. You don't remember if it was your policy or Eric's policy that it was changed?
Your Honor, objection, asked to answer.
Your Honor, I'd like him to have a chance to answer it.
Overruled. Please answer Ms. Nestor's question.
So it's tricky because when it's a flip flop. So I'm trying to think about that in this setting. Give me just 1 second.
It's okay. Take your time.
Kouri, you naughty,
So,
naughty mixin'.
What I was told was that there was a change made to the beneficiary. Somebody had gone in and changed that and then switched it back. I do not recall him telling me whose name was changed or anything like that.
So it's possible it was your policy.
There's a possibility.
Okay. And if it was your policy, that means if you died, the beneficiary would be somebody different, not if Eric died. Right?
Correct.
Okay. And then it was changed back. Right?
That's what I was told.
So at the time that Eric passed, Kouri Richins was not a beneficiary of your policy, right?
Can you say that again?
At the time Eric died, Kouri Richins was not a beneficiary of your personal policy, correct?
Not of my policy. No.
And she was not a beneficiary of Eric's policy, correct?
The policy stated that if he were to die, I would pay his family the money.
And that's what you did. You paid Katie Benson and the trust
I did
the
not
money.
pay Katie Benson. I paid the trust.
You paid the
and I
trust.
put it into the court,
Okay.
which was instructed by attorneys.
Okay. So none of that money went to Kouri, right?
I have no clue where that money sits today.
You didn't give it to Kouri.
I gave it to the court
You gave it
as
to
I was instructed through my attorney.
on the behalf of the trust.
I believe so, yes.
Oh, Kouri. We're giving faces again.
I want to talk about the times that you saw Eric in pain.
Mhm.
So fair to say Eric had back pain. He had back problems.
He would pinch a nerve once in a while and have back pain, yes.
And he'd be unable to work.
He would work through that.
Sometimes he'd be unable to work.
He would still probably drive around in his truck, which is considered work. I mean,
Okay.
he wasn't out lifting another stone, if that's what work. Yeah.
So it might have impacted the type of work he could
Yeah.
do. All right. And he also had knee pain, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I believe so. Mhm.
And he even had knee surgery at some point.
I don't recall that.
And then he had Lyme's disease.
Yes.
And did he complain to you about pain in his muscles from Lyme's disease?
He would tell me how painful that was. Correct.
Okay. Now, Mr. Bloodworth asked you if you had ever seen Eric take drugs, right?
Correct.
And Eric, you mentioned you guys went on a mission together, right?
Correct.
So it's fair
Different
to
times, but
it's
not
fa-
together.
it's fair to assume that you subscribe to the faith of the Church of the Latter-day Saints.
I am LDS.
And as part of that faith, you all subscribe that it is not proper to drink or take drugs, right?
If you are an active following member and you believe that, then that is correct.
And Eric knew that you were of this faith, correct?
Correct.
And he did not share with you when he drank alcohol, did he?
I would hear about it.
He didn't share it with you.
I have never been offered a drink from Eric.
And I'm sure that is a sign of respect to you and your faith.
I believe
Yes.
so. To me
And-
as a person.
And he never shared with you that he used marijuana gummies.
He himself? No, he never told me.
Did you ever see him do that around you?
No.
And again, he knew that you would not approve of that, right? Under your
Okay. I wondered if this was going to come up because this is what I suspected. So I said this like very beginning that they were of the LDS faith. Eric was of the LDS faith, but he had not gone to church very often, and I don't think that he was completely practicing. Trying to think of like where did I hear this from? I think it might have just been like in the court filings and the motions prior to the testimony, etc. Oh, there's Kouri giving faces again. Girl, there she is giving faces again. And I don't know if Kouri is of the LDS. I haven't seen anything really mentioned about that. They did get married at their home. So, but it is interesting that, so they bring up, did you ever see him drink in front of you? Did you ever see him take the gummies in front of you? No, no, no. So that could mean that, like, not that he's hiding anything, but that he's definitely cautious of who he tells, etc. Let's continue.
faith.
Eric would be okay telling me some of those things. He would tell me, but in the light that I am his good friend, that he would tell me things, right? But not be proud of that by any means.
So he did share with you that he used drugs.
No.
Objection, Your Honor. It's not a question called for.
Sustained. Just ask your next question.
Did you just testify that he did tell you about things? He just wasn't proud of it?
Ms. Nestor.
Yes, sir.
Sustained. If you'd ask a different question.
So when Mr. Bloodworth asked you the question if you had ever seen Eric use drugs, your answer was no, correct?
Correct.
But you have knowledge that he did.
People have told me that.
Objection.
I'll leave it.
Here's
It's out. What do you want me to do now, Mr. Bloodworth?
what
Sit down.
You can follow up. Okay, Ms. Nestor, please keep moving.
I think she made her point, don't you?
You mentioned that you and Eric used to go hunting together. Is that right?
Yes.
At some point, did you provide information to hunting law enforcement officials about violations that Eric had done when he was hunting?
Yes.
Yep.
And was he placed in jail for that?
Yes.
And you provided that information and testimony against him.
No.
But you told the police that he did what they thought he did, right?
I was in. I was brought in and asked questions that I answered to.
And those questions incriminated Eric.
Yes.
Okay.
Some of them.
And you and Eric kind of had a falling out after that. Is that fair?
Falling out in what sense?
You stopped going on vacations together with your families.
We didn't go on vacation with our families very often as it was. So I would say that was not something that immediately happened after that.
Your relationship became more tense, more difficult between the two of you.
Oh, yeah, he didn't like it.
Okay.
Yeah, he was upset about that.
So I want to talk about the Valentine's Day call that you had with Eric. To your knowledge, did Eric work that day?
Again, work is everywhere we go. We have our cell phone and we are working.
Did you know whether he worked that day?
I would assume that he had worked that day, having received a phone call or two or done some sort of management style of work.
If I were to show you photographs of projects that he visited that morning, would you be able to recognize the project by looking at the house?
I may be able to recognize the project, but I'd have no clue if he showed up there or not, or if he would had worked there that day.
Okay, can we put up for the witness States Exhibit 3-13D? All right.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, we still don't have it.
You're welcome to use it. Okay, do you see that photograph in front of you?
Yes.
All right. And that is a photograph and
You
Eric,
pause for one moment, Mr. Bloodworth.
Objection, Your Honor, foundation.
he hasn't even let me get it out of my mouth yet, Judge.
Are you about to lay some
Yes,
foundation?
I am.
Okay. And so if you lay it before you represent what it is.
I will.
Thank you.
Do you recognize what that home is, the aerial view? Do you know whose home that is?
Yes.
Whose home is that?
Eric's.
And can you go to the next photograph, Katie? Do you recognize that overhead view of a home?
I don't.
So you don't know if that's one of the homes Eric was working on or one of his projects at the time?
Doesn't look familiar to me.
Okay, can you go to the next one, Katie? What about this very large home? Do you recognize that one?
I don't.
You don't know if you guys were doing a project on that house?
I don't.
Okay, you can take it down. On the day that you spoke to Eric Richins on Valentine's Day, he didn't, you weren't aware that he went to a doctor that day? Did you ever know of him going to the doctor, taking time off
He told me that he had gone with Carter that morning.
to get allergy shots?
Something with allergies.
Okay, but after you spoke to him, were you ever aware that he went to a doctor to follow up on how he felt that day?
Your Honor, objection calls, I think, for hearsay. There's no foundation otherwise.
If he had personal knowledge, if Eric took time off to go to the doctor,
Please approach.
Oh, I don't have much zoom
after that
room.
day at the
Oh,
hospital that
oh,
day,
hang on.
No.
did you give Eric a ride to the doctor that day?
Okay.
Did you give Eric a ride to the doctor that day?
No.
Did you give Eric a ride to the hospital that day?
No.
Did you go visit him in a hospital that day?
I did not.
Okay. Did he make any calls to you where you could hear in the background there was hospital noises or ambulances or anything like that?
No.
Did he come to work the next day?
Yes. He would have been working.
All right, the day that Eric died on March the day before he died, the 3rd, you guys went to lunch that day, didn't you?
Yes.
And you went to lunch at the Mirror Lake Cafe,
I believe that's where it was. Yes.
and you kind of spent part of the day with him that day, didn't you?
Just that at that lunch appointment.
All right. And then you got notice that he had passed, correct?
The next morning.
And did you send Becky Lloyd to Eric's house to pick up all of his computers?
At a certain point, yes. I don't remember when, but yes, she went and picked the computer up.
And was that within a day or two of his death?
Yes, it would have been within a couple of days.
And you didn't clear that with any law enforcement?
Didn't. Nope.
So you picked up his computer, or Becky picked up his computer and brought it into y'all's custody, right?
Yeah, it was C&E owned computer that we needed the
Did-
company stuff from.
And did you get into the computer? Did you open it? Did you look for documents in it?
I don't know how to turn a computer on half the time.
Okay. All right, what about Miss Becky? Did she go into the computer?
Your Honor, objection, hearsay, scope.
Do you know whether Becky
Yeah.
went into
Hold
the,
on. Sustained, if you could ask
I
a
will.
non-hearsay inducing question.
Did you see Becky go into the computer at all?
I did not see Becky.
And then at some point, a private investigator came to talk to you about that computer, correct?
Correct.
And that would be Mr. Todd Gabler.
Correct.
And Todd worked for the Richins family or the trust.
I don't know who he worked for, but I assume that's correct.
And you told him that Becky had the computer
Correct.
and you sent him to get it from Becky.
I don't remember sending him.
Did you authorize Becky to give it to him?
We would have in that instance, yes.
Okay. And in all that time, no law enforcement had gotten the computer first.
Correct.
All right. And then isn't it true that shortly after Eric died, you also sent somebody to pick up his work truck?
Correct.
And explain to me what the work truck looked like.
Brown Ford 550 flatbed truck.
And I noticed you said earlier that work a lot of times involved driving around in that truck, right?
Correct.
So he spent a lot of time in that truck.
He did.
And the truck was parked generally in the garage in the back of his house. Is that fair?
I don't know where he parked it.
Like you sent someone named, what was the person's name that you sent to go get the truck?
I don't recall who I sent.
Somebody named Victor?
I don't recall.
Okay. And he went to pick the truck up and took it out of the garage, right?
If it was in the garage, then he would have taken it out of the garage. I don't know where it was parked.
Okay. And if the police testified that that truck was not searched when Mr. Richins died, to your knowledge, had anybody sought your permission to search it at all prior to you picking it up?
No.
It's a
And
good
then you took it into
question.
your custody,
Yes.
and you kept that truck.
Yes.
You still have it.
Yes.
All right. He also
Ooh.
drove a red truck. Is that right? But like a personal truck.
Yes.
And did the C&E own the red truck?
Yes.
All right. And at some point, you found out that the red truck was being serviced. Is that right?
Yes.
How'd you find that out?
The Ford dealership called me and told me that it was ready to be picked up.
And you knew that that truck was being driven by Kouri Richins at the time.
It should not have been being driven at all.
Okay, but she had custody of it.
It was sitting at her house with instruction that it shouldn't be driven.
And when you
Well,
found out,
knowledge that it shouldn't be
I'm
driven.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I
You're
thought you were.
Ooh. What? What? There's a red truck at the house being serviced, and it shouldn't have been. What's going on with the truck?
You found out the truck was ready and you went and picked it up, right?
We went and got it. Yes,
You
because it had been driven.
You didn't talk to Kouri about it.
No.
You didn't discuss it with her at all.
No.
You just took it from the dealership.
It is a C&E owned vehicle. There is ramifications for an accident for somebody that's not working with C&E.
Okay.
And
And
so
then-
it felt that it would be proper to make sure that the truck wasn't being driven
Where's the truck now?
in somebody's yard or house, or I don't know exactly where it's at.
Did you give it to Katie?
I did.
You gave it to her for free.
I did not give it to her. No,
You sold it to
it
her.
is owned by C&E.
So did C&E sell the truck to Katie, or did they
No.
just give it to her?
No, it's sitting at their home or their yard or their place.
So the people who had access to the truck before any law enforcement ever looked at it were you, Katie, anyone in Katie's family, anyone at the dealership. Is that all right?
Say that again.
The people who had access to that red truck before there was any search executed were you, Katie, anyone in Katie's family,
Speculation. Stand up,
and
Mr.
anyone at
Bloodworth.
C&E that picked it up.
Jackson Foundation.
Well, also
You can go.
speculation.
Um,
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, many people had access to that truck. If access is,
ooh.
they would have to be
a
given
good
the key and
point.
given permission to drive it.
So when Eric passed and his buy-sell agreement was executed and you gave the money to the court for the trust, then the company 100% became yours, correct?
Correct.
And is it fair to say that your personal net worth basically doubled at that point?
You could say that.
Oh, you're not implying that he had anything to do with it, are you?
Since Eric's death, you've remained close with his family, is that fair?
Yes.
And you and your wife have accompanied Eric's family to court and sat with them during court hearings?
Yeah.
Are you implying something, Miss Nesta?
Court's indulgence for just, one question I did forget. The New York Life, that was who had your insurance for your buy-sell, correct?
Correct.
Were you aware of whether Kouri and Eric had personal New York Life policies as well?
I don't know the answer.
Okay, that's fine. Court's indulgence for just 1 minute, Your Honor.
Of course.
What are you implying, Miss Nesta? That he has a vested interest in Kouri going to jail? that there's some impropriety of him being friends with the Richins family. Oh, somebody sneezed. I'm sure there are a whole bunch of more questions they would like to get in through this witness. The state's being very, very cautious about what
only
they're
if you
saying, what
know
they're
it.
asking.
But were you aware, was C&E paying for a personal life insurance policy for Eric through a company called Auto Owners or Integrated Insurance Solutions?
I'm not aware.
Okay,
No.
that's fine. You mentioned that Eric loved hunting, right?
Correct.
And after you gave your testimony to the Department of Wildlife and Natural Resources, Eric couldn't hunt for a while in the United States. Is that right?
Correct.
But he still could hunt in Mexico.
Correct.
And are you aware that shortly before his death, he went hunting in Mexico?
I am.
Do you know when?
It would have been in February sometime, I believe.
All right. And how often did he
Maybe
hunt
January.
in Mexico? Are you aware?
Sorry, what?
How often did Eric go hunting in Mexico?
He went down there for a trip, so I would assume he was hunting every day that he was there.
Are you aware of more than one time that he went to Mexico to go hunting?
Yes.
Were you aware of them more than 5 times?
I couldn't say. I don't remember.
Did you ever
For
go
sure.
with him to Mexico?
Could I?
Did you?
Did I know?
Do you know where in Mexico Eric went hunting?
A general area. I don't know exactly where.
It was a general area
Typically, the hunting takes place in somewhere around Sonora,
around Sonora.
somewhere.
I think that's all I have. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Mr. Blood.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Clean it up, Mr. Bloodworth. Clean it up. He did some damage.
Sir, from your
Not
perspective,
much.
was the loan to Kouri Richins Realty in connection with the Franson Lane property out of necessity?
Yes.
You testified that generally people had told you that Eric did drugs. I want to be specific. Did people generally tell you that Eric would use THC edibles?
Object to hearsay.
Open the door. Overruled.
Did people tell you that Eric would use THC edibles?
People would tell me that. Yes.
Did anyone ever tell you that Eric Richins used illicit street drugs?
No.
Tell me, did he tell him?
You testified
Hang on.
that you
Did they tell you that he used prescription drugs? You didn't see him. All right. Well, we may not be able to
provided
get
some
that in.
inculpatory information to DNR officers in connection with their investigation of Eric. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Why did you provide them with information?
Eric was
Uh-oh.
being investigated for a wildlife incident. Somebody else had turned him in, and they brought me in to answer some questions that they had.
And did the incident involve not having a tag and killing an elk?
Yes.
Why did you provide incriminating evidence as opposed to covering for Eric?
Eric knew what he had done wasn't right. And he was okay to be a big boy and take care of his own stuff. And I was okay to be honest and tell them the truth and allow him to do what he needed to do on his end.
Is that hard for you to do?
It was extremely hard. I knew what those ramifications were going to be.
Did you do it because it was the right thing to do?
I did.
Does March the 7th, 2022 sound like about the right day when you dispatched somebody to pick up the brown truck from Eric's residence?
Sounds right.
Why have you sat with Eric Richins' family at various court proceedings?
Object to relevance, Your Honor.
Within
Yeah.
the scope of your cross. Overruled.
Yeah.
I love the Richins. I loved Eric. He was one of my best friends. And I want to be a support where I can.
Support the family. Yep.
we approach, Your Honor?
Of course.
Uh-oh. I mean, not only that, but like, while they're waiting, not only that, but he had I would assume he had a big part in the kids' lives. I mean, he was teaching Carter how to pitch. You would assume that he had some interaction with them. And we don't know how old his children are compared to Eric's kids, but I would have ventured to say somewhere around the same age because they are around the same age themselves. So, you know, it's you don't just cut off, well,
Folks, this would be an opportune time for a restroom break. I was about to take one anyways. Please rise for the jury.
you don't necessarily cut off family ties and stuff for um just because somebody's passed. And there's nothing wrong with him doing
All right,
this.
folks, have a seat.
Your Honor, we can pull it up on the screen if you give me just 1 second.
No problem. Brittany, what would you see if we can fix the screen at table 2?
Your Honor, can I step to the crowd room for a minute?
Of course.
Are they going to voir dire the witness about something? Look at Brittany. She's trying to fix the
Not first,
screen.
but I think it'll be necessary for you to leave the courtroom for this discussion. So out of an abundance of caution, would you please step into the lobby? Please do not speak with anyone while you're out there. Thank you, sir. We just wait a moment. Yeah. We're just trying to fix the screen.
We have no Zoom room. Oh, look at Brittany. Cute little outfit. Hiding under tables trying to fix screens.
Page
Did she get it
60,
done?
is there a page and line number you want me to go to?
If you start at line 15 and go through the beginning of the next page.
If you can go to the next page for me.
Your Honor, I probably need to read it into the record for purposes of the record.
One moment. Can we go back to page 60? Do you have it up on your screen, Mr. Bloodworth?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay.
So the part that we're seeking to examine the witness, and we submit that the state has opened the door by asking the question, has anyone ever told you Eric used illicit drugs? And his answer was no. In this testimony at the preliminary, page 60 line, beginning at line 15. And were you aware that in high school, Eric had an addiction to pain pills? Answer, I did know that he participated in pain pill taking for sure. Question, you did? Answer, yes. And do you know what his pill of choice was that he was addicted to back then? Answer, I believe in high school, we called them Red Devils.
Is that where you want to stop?
Yes.
I'm not entirely sure that Mr. Wright is referring to illicit street drugs, quote unquote, there, but I also don't know the other way. Mr. Bloodworth, you'd be able to clarify that with him once it came in. I think I already ruled on a motion to eliminate that this issue would be admissible, correct?
No, Your Honor, it was the opposite.
Well, that's,
Yeah.
In the motion in limine, and we're scrambling in the back to get
Yeah.
this now, the motion in limine briefing to you. But in the motion in limine, Mr. Wright clarified this testimony to say his awareness was from other people,
Oh, that's right.
not from observing Eric Richins. So whatever he knows about Eric Richins' high school drug use, if any, is hearsay. Mr. Wright also clarified, well, sorry, it wasn't Mr. Wright that was clarified. Also, the state produced evidence that Red Devils, circa whatever it was, 2020-ish, was a reference to an over-the-counter cough suppressant that kids were taking in high school. So I think the defense is saying that that the state opened the door is unfounded.
May I respond, Your Honor?
One moment, I've got to read my ruling.
Yes, sir.
So the ruling was that I deferred ruling on the motion in limine until after the parties have an opportunity to voir dire witness Kouri Wright or provide other evidence outside the presence of the jury to determine whether there is any non-hearsay route to the admissibility of the proposed evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor. So here's what just happened. Mr. Bloodworth asked the question, has anyone ever told you that Eric used illicit drugs?
Illicit street drugs.
I objected to hearsay. The court ruled that I had opened the door and allowed him to elicit that hearsay evidence.
Yeah, in
Once
fairness, you're skipping the first step. You opened the door and crossed
I
to this
just said that.
topic.
I just said that.
Right,
that
but
you,
I want to be clear.
okay,
It's not just an allegation that you did. You did.
okay,
Then Mr. Bloodworth went into it.
okay, absolutely. I was trying to convey that. I'm sorry if I didn't do it correctly. I was not trying to skip any step. You ruled that I had opened the door. You allowed him to elicit what would typically be hearsay evidence because I had opened the door. Now it's in. Now this witness is sat on the stand. No one's ever told him that Eric used illicit drugs, and that is not true.
Illicit street drugs. Please be precise.
That's what these are. He's
Well,
claiming.
we don't know one way or the other. Would you like an opportunity to voir dire Kouri Wright about that, consistent with the
Right.
court's motion and limine ruling from January?
I'm happy to voir dire him if it helps the court with your ruling. It is my position that at this point, I'm entitled to impeach him for making a statement in response to the state, elicited by the state, that no one's ever told him Eric used illicit street drugs. Here I have testimony that is contrary to that. I have a right to impeach him on that. I'll voir dire him on whatever you want, but it is my motion now that I be allowed to go into this because the state has put it there. They've put it out there. I have a right to impeach that he just testified falsely and inconsistently with what he said at the prelim. And it's very important, Your Honor.
If he, in fact, said
Right.
something impeachable, you have the right to impeach him.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm not
Right.
sure that he did yet.
Right.
Why don't we get to that point? Mr. Bloodworth.
Your Honor, certainly we can voir dire him. I think if the court reads further down in the preliminary hearing transcript, counsel asks,
You know I don't have that ability, so if you could cite me to it.
oh, do you not? I'm sorry.
No, I don't have control over what they're showing me. If there's a docket entry you want me to look at, I know that it's in the docket.
Sure, it's page 61 that I thought was on your screen. It's on my screen.
It is now, yeah.
So at the bottom of page 60, I guess we just read from the middle of page 60.
60, line 15 through 25.
Correct. If
Yeah.
the court keeps reading to the top of page 61, Kouri Wright says he has no idea what Red Devils were.
He says prior to that he is very aware that Eric took pain pills in high school. He says that clear as day.
Why don't we just ask him what he knows?
Right.
But
Oh, you don't want that. You want to just use this.
I want to use this and I want to do it in front of the jury. I
But
don't
you
want to
want
give a
to,
chance.
you don't want to just put it in. You want to ask him questions about it, right?
No, I just
Yeah.
I want to impeach him with this document only.
You don't
That's it.
have any foundation that Red Devils are illicit street drugs, though. So you need that foundation
Pain
for
pills
this.
would be.
But that's not illicit street drugs, and that wasn't the question. This is an important difference.
Oh my
Nobody's asked
goodness.
this gentleman
Your Honor,
or shown that
If you buy pain
please
pills, I'm
don't
sorry.
speak
I'm
over
sorry.
me
I'm
so
sorry.
that you have a clean record.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
If there is an impeachable statement by this witness as to whether he's aware
This
that
judge.
Eric Richins took pain pills at any point in his life, this would be directly relevant to that. But we need a non-speculative foundation for the idea that Red Devils are illicit street drugs.
So the pain pills that they're talking about, if they are
Who's
taken,
they?
if
Right. Who's they?
that is being referred to in this prior statement, the
Red
pain
Devils.
pills that, well, he says pain pills and then he says Red Devils.
Okay.
So my understanding, according to this, is that Mr. Wright doesn't know what Red Devils are, but that's what they called them in high school,
Seems accurate.
which is clearly saying these were not doctor prescribed. These are illicit drugs that he's using in high school. So
No, there's some distance between
Right.
a nickname called Red Devils and illicit street drugs. And I don't know what the Red Devils he's referring to are, but it doesn't automatically mean they're illicit street drugs.
if you use pain pills without a prescription, that is illicit street drugs.
It is not. And you know that to be true.
I disagree, Your Honor.
It might be diversion of a prescribed substance, but it's not illicit street drugs.
They've certainly heard testimony from Mr. Crozier that he's selling oxycodone on the street that came from prescriptions. That's illicit street drugs.
I'm not sure you want to take that position going forward, but I don't endorse it in any respect. Certainly, we know that diversion of prescribed legal
Judge.
medication is different than purchasing on the street. Prescription medication is different than purchasing non-FDA approved substances on the street. There is a range of conduct here, and the question asked by Mr.
Wow.
Bloodworth was specific.
Can we read back? Can we get it read back, what he asked? Do we have the transcript of the exact statement that Mr. Bloodworth just asked him?
State courts do not create transcripts.
I think we have someone doing it live right now.
When you say we, who are you referring to?
Ms.
Right.
Mayor,
She's not a court employee. I don't know what you're referring to.
if you can give me 5 minutes, I can email her and get the exact statement.
Sure. While that occurs, I'm going to use the restroom. We'll take a recess until 10:35.
Woo!
Right.
Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. Oh, well, we're right on it. So I have no Zoom room. So what are Red Devils? Just because I don't know what they are. Okay, Red Devils. I just Googled this. I said, what are Red Devils as in drugs? Is a nickname for two distinct unrelated substances. A secobarbital, which is a sedative hypnotic, oh my goodness, read hypnotic barbiturate, and doxorubicin, a red-colored chemotherapy drug. I don't think this is because it says in the 1960s to 80s, cause sedation and have high risk of overdose. Let's see. We'll go 2000s. Oops, 2000s. Oh boy. Oh, it's still. Okay, so there's something. Quercetin, HBP, cough and cold, also known as DXM, during the 2000s, this over-the-counter medication became popular among teenagers for recreational abuse, known as robo-tripping. It was called Red Devils or Triple C's because of its red tablet for containing dextromethorphan, DXM. Huh. Interesting. So, I I appreciate the defense. They are advocating zealously for their client, trying to get in everything they possibly can. And that's, in some ways, that's good, right? And in some ways, you're just like, oh my gosh, no way, right? So, I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. Well, let's see if we can zoomy zoom. Court is not back. Nope, they are not back. All right, so I'm going to take a break. Let me see. Let's see what I can do. Let's see what this is. That is annoying. Nice little background music there. I was trying to see if it had like be right back or on a break. So far, I don't see anything else. See if I can make one. We're waiting for the court to get back, so we're just hanging out because we're live. We're live. Okay, let's see if we can do this. You don't want to see me dance here. Let's see. Let's see if this will. Here, let's see if this will do anything. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's see. How do I turn the sound off? Okay. That's off. Now, how do I get the background off? Uh-ohs. Hmm. All right, we're back. Can you hear me? Hello, we're back. All right. We don't have much Zoom room, which is sad, but here we are. We'll just figure it out together.
All right, council, thank you for that break. A little bit more context here for this discussion.
Yes.
As we discussed on the record during the hearing on the parties' various motions in limine, the topic or the concept of whether Eric Richins used pain pills during his lifetime, prescription or non-prescription, illicit,
Right.
that is relevant. But
Yes.
at the motion in limine hearing, and as I sit here right now, there
Mhm.
is, it's unclear as to
Yes.
whether there's any admissible evidence that he did. So, Ms. Nestor, I think the correct course forward, based upon where we are right now, is to allow you to voir dire Kouri Wright regarding his knowledge of
Yeah.
the topic that he discussed at the preliminary hearing.
Yes.
Having heard or known or learned somehow that Eric Richins used pain pills in high school and they were Red Devils. If that reference is to prescription pain medication, it impeaches Mr. Wright's testimony on the stand today that he's never known Eric to use prescription medication. If it's illicit street drugs, it impeaches his testimony that he's never known or heard about Eric using illicit street drugs. If he doesn't know what Red Devils are, we're all just speculating, including the jury, and that's not permissible. Mr. Bloodworth, any comment there?
Your Honor, I think Mr. Wright's testimony, let me grab the question.
Let's voir dire.
Was that he had never seen Eric Richins use prescription drugs or illicit drugs. Okay.
So let's see what he says on voir dire to see if it actually finishes that or not.
Correct.
Yeah. I'm sensitive to the precision of the questions you were asking at various points.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything further, sir?
No, sir.
All right. Ms. Nestor, anything before we invite Mr. Wright back in for that purpose?
No, sir.
I'm going to wait for Mr. Bertram to whisper in your ear. May we invite Mr. Wright back into the courtroom, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh,
Mr. Wright, thank you
boy.
for your patience. If you take the stand for me.
Oh, boy.
If you'd like a glass of water, you can pour yourself one. You are still under oath. Ms. Nestor has a few extra questions for you, and then we'll see where we go from there. All right.
May it please the court.
Please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Welcome back. So we want to just dig in a little bit to the question that you were asked on redirect. When Mr. Bloodworth asked you if anyone had ever told you that Eric used illicit drugs. And I believe he said illicit street drugs. Does that sound right?
Oh shoot,
do
Mr.
you
Bloodworth's
recall?
already Mr. Bloodworth's already
Did he say illicit street drugs? Is that what you're asking?
What was your understanding of the question that he asked you at the very end about whether you'd ever heard about Eric using drugs?
My under-
Illicit street drugs.
Right. What was your understanding of that question?
If anyone had ever told me about him using an illicit street drug.
Okay.
Now, I'm not in the drug world. I have no clue what most drugs are categorized as. So
Did you talk to anyone outside in the hallway while you were waiting?
I did not.
Okay, just checking. Okay. So at the preliminary,
Miss Nestor, excuse me. Hello, Miss Nestor. Excuse me. This gentleman is like an upstanding dude, and he probably doesn't know what illicit drugs are. I barely know what illicit drugs are. Only because I watch court cases. But no, he was not talking to anybody.
so at the preliminary hearing,
Mhm.
we asked you some questions about whether you were aware that Eric used pain pills in high school. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And are you aware of that?
I was told that that had happened.
All right. And were you ever told about
Who
where
told
he
you?
got those pain pills?
I have no idea where he got those pain pills from.
So when Mr. Bloodworth asked you earlier today if you were ever aware of Mr. Richins using prescription drugs, you said no.
Your Honor, that's not the question I asked.
Pause, Mr. Wright. If you would just object to foundation and restate the question for me.
Your Honor, objection.
Let me ask you this way.
Sustain. Go ahead,
Do
Ms. Nestor.
Was it your
Those
understanding
transcripts.
in high school when you had this knowledge that Mr. Richins was using these drugs illicitly? In other words, not with the prescription of a pharmacist?
I need you to be more precise in that question. Which drugs are you referring to?
The pain pills, sorry.
And if you would re-ask it, please.
Was it your understanding in high school when you knew about this that Mr. Richins was using his own prescription for pain pills or someone else's?
I learned about this later on in life, not in high school.
Okay, and what did you learn?
And I learned that he had taken pain pills in high school. That's what I had been told.
Without a prescription?
I didn't get asked if there was a prescription or not. I don't know.
All right. And then I think you said in the prelim that you thought they were called Red Devils. Is that right?
That's what I was told.
And was it your understanding that Red Devils were an illicit street drug?
I don't know what an illicit street drug entails, but I assumed that the Red Devils were being abused, as that's what high school kids were doing.
So people were doing that in your school.
I heard that, yes,
And did you know what Red
later
Devils?
on in life.
What did you know what Red Devils were?
I learned later on what those were, yes.
What are those?
I believe it's Sudafed.
Oh, it's Sudafed.
I think. I'm
Yeah.
not a drug person. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could be pseudoephedrine, maybe.
I have no idea.
Okay.
But that's what I think it is Sudafed being abused.
Okay. So when you testified at the preliminary hearing that you were aware in high school that Eric, or you became aware later that in high school Eric abused Red Devils and pain pills, do you still stand by that today?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. He has no firsthand knowledge. He's saying that somebody told him. So this is not going to come in because somebody told him. It is like hearsay beyond hearsay. I heard it from a friend I heard it from a friend, someone else somewhere else. So he doesn't have firsthand knowledge. He can't testify to that. Someone else told him about something that happened in high school, which is nowhere near in this approximate time. It's not coming in. Or she can't ask these questions to him in front of the jury.
Your Honor, do you
That's-
need more than that?
Yes.
I understand Mr. Wright's testimony on the record.
Let me just think for 1 second if there's anything else.
She's trying to figure out how she can get it in.
When you answered Mr. Bloodworth's question in front of the jury,
No, Kouri.
you
Kouri. Put your little frownies down because it's not coming in. It's not
that
coming
you had
in.
not heard from anyone that Eric used illicit street drugs. That's except for what you heard about in high school?
Objection, Your Honor.
It's
The foundation.
I can ask him what his intention of his answer was, Your Honor. Did you intend to carve that out?
That's a fair question.
Can you restate that? I'm
Did
sorry.
you intend
Yeah.
to carve out from that answer what you knew about high school?
What answer? Sorry.
From the
Right.
answer that Mr. Bloodworth asked you in front of the jury, if anyone had ever told you or if you'd ever heard that Eric used illicit street drugs, did you intend to not include what you knew in high school? Are you carving that out?
If I said it that I was in high school, what I've been told about Eric is throughout my life. I don't know if it was exactly in high school. I don't know if it was in my early 20s or now. What I've been told over the years is that he had used those in high school, and that's what I know.
All right. And so if I were to ask you the question again that Mr. Bloodworth asked you, has anyone ever told you that Eric used illicit street drugs? And you included all the knowledge you have all the way back through what he did in high school. What would your answer be now?
I don't know what illicit street drugs entail.
Okay.
I've been told some drugs that he used, and that's what I would testify to, is that I know that he used some drugs, form of drugs. I don't know what they are exactly. I don't know if they're illicit street drugs or not, but that he had used drugs at some point.
That's it, Your Honor.
Mr. Richins, anything else for Mr. Wright at this point? In terms of word up?
Sir, is the only drug that you've been told he used in high school the Red Devils?
In high school, yes.
You haven't heard of him using any other drug in high school other than marijuana? Let's just accept marijuana from this whole discussion, okay?
Yeah. So in high school, I was told that people were using Red Devils. I had heard that Eric had popped pills.
Okay. And is your understanding was the pills that he popped were the Red Devils, or was it Red Devils and something else?
Understanding that a Red Devil is a pill, he popped pills, and I don't really know much more than that.
Okay.
I don't know what pills they were popping or anything to that
Thank you.
extent.
Can I just follow up on that, Your Honor? So you mentioned in high school, like maybe there was after high school as well. Did I misread what you just said?
I have
Danger,
learned a
danger,
few
danger.
things through people over the years. I don't know this exact times and days that people have told me this knowledge. Eric popped pills in high school is what I've been told.
Beyond high school, do you have any knowledge if he popped pills?
I don't have any sure knowledge that he popped pills after high school.
Not sure knowledge, but if people told you that?
I have knowledge that he took THC gummies.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Thank you. I just want to make sure because I heard that clarification and I wanted to make sure we followed all the way through with it.
Great.
As far as you sit here today, other than what you heard about what he did in high school and other than knowing about the THC gummies, have you heard from any other person that Eric used drugs in his lifetime?
He said no.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to clarify that.
I need to make you take a walk again.
Okay.
Please don't speak to anybody in the lobby.
It's not.
Ms. Nestor, any further argument?
Well, Your Honor, I mean, I think that this witness has now clarified that if he were to answer the question now, he would include that he was aware Eric popped pills in high school. He also heard that people in his high school were doing Red Devils. He said he assumed that's what Eric was doing, but he doesn't know. But he has knowledge that Eric was popping pills. This whole case is about a pill addiction. This whole case is about whether or not Eric Richins voluntarily ingested that or if he was given it by his wife. This is a critical piece of the defense. He's been allowed to make a statement in front of the jury that we have now found out through voir dire is not 100% accurate on one of the core issues in this case. I am only asking to impeach him. I can limit it to what he said in the prelim. We can go farther if you want us to, or we can limit it to what he said in the prelim. I'll do it either way. But I think to deny Ms. Richins the right to impeach him on something this critical to the defense and the prosecution, when the door was absolutely opened by the prosecution, would be reversible error. And we're asking that the court allow us to do that now.
Mr. Glenn.
I don't think so. Look at him. He's
Your
like,
Honor,
no.
The state disagrees with all of that, including the veracity of some of that. The state reverts back to what
The
we used to
veracity.
motion, sir, by the way, that any relevancy to what happened in high school has decayed to zero
Right.
20
Right.
or 20 plus years later.
Right.
The testimony at issue is Mr. Wright's response to the question of, did anyone ever tell you that Eric Richins used illicit street drugs? To which he responded, no.
No.
Nothing in his voir dire impeaches that testimony. Therefore, bringing in the preliminary hearing transcript or any further questioning on this, the preliminary hearing transcript or any further questioning on this is inadmissible.
Oh, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Look at him. He's like, I am pondering this because, okay, so it's very imperative, right? I paused it there because it's so important, right? Miss Nestor is absolutely 100% correct. It is critical to their case to say, hey, Eric Richins is a pill popping person and he must have popped these pills and therefore that is what killed him, right? It wasn't Kouri, it was Eric. Eric killed himself, right? That is the crux of the case, right? Does it hinge on whether or not Eric Richins popped pills in high school? And that he heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who? This is what the law is all about. It's like finite details. What is he going to do?
All right.
Ooh,
The case has to be tried based
Tough.
upon admissible evidence.
right.
And on both sides of the V, there are pieces of evidence that either the state or the defense has sought to admit that the court has ruled are not admissible.
Right.
I'm required to apply the rules of evidence. We instruct the jury that the rules of evidence have developed over hundreds of years to make sure that trials are tried in a fair and impartial way. This issue developed in a way where defense counsel asked a question that elicited hearsay testimony regarding what Mr. Wright had heard about Mr. Richins' prior drug use generally. Whether or not that's what the defendant intended, that's what happened. So then on redirect, the state asked two very specific questions to characterize that volunteering of hearsay by Mr. Wright. Whether they'd heard that Mr. Richins had used THC products, and whether he had ever heard that Mr. Wright used illicit street drugs. Nothing in his prior preliminary hearing testimony or during his voir dire outside the presence of the jury on the stand is admissible evidence contrary to his sworn testimony on the stand in front of the jury. His prior reference to Red Devils, he's now clarified as Sudafed, which is not pain pills to begin with.
Right.
Moreover, he doesn't have any admissible testimony that Eric Richins used illicit drugs of any kind. This
Right.
is hearsay. It is speculation.
Right.
It's not admissible.
Right.
Your Honor, may I just make a record?
Of course.
Your Honor, it's our position that first of all, when I asked the question, it was not objected to by the state. Second of all, I'd like to make the record that this would be for purposes of impeachment. This, to deny us this opportunity is a violation of Crawford. It is a violation of our Sixth Amendment right to cross-examine. It is a violation of our due process right to a fair trial. We would be able to call in our case an expert who would testify that Red Devils were in fact PCP in that period of time. They were not Sudafed. The DEA has a pamphlet on that. We're being denied that option. We're being denied the ability to attack the credibility of someone who has changed. Respectfully, we disagree with Your Honor's position on this. We think he absolutely changed his testimony, and we're being prohibited the right to impeach him on the fact he changed his testimony. And I believe that the question I would ask him, if I were allowed to go forward, would be, did you learn that Eric popped pills in high school? And that would impeach what he said to Mr. Bloodworth, unrebutted and not allowed to be rebutted by me when we know that I can rebut it. And we, on our strongest way possible, we object to this. We would like a continuing objection. We move to strike all of Cody Wright's testimony, all of the issues
Wait
that
a minute.
Mr.
Whoa.
What?
You lost me.
on redirect.
What? All of his testimony? All of it doesn't have to do with the drugs or anything. It has to do with his business, etc. Oh, this woman is off the rails. She is. Whoa. Oh, I mean, oh. Listen, I know she's got a hard job to do, right? Let's not pick on her, right? She's got a hard job to do. She's working with the evidence that's given to her, and they are trying so hard to impeach witnesses. They're trying so hard to get the evidence that they want in. And unfortunately, it's just not there. They haven't found it. It's not there. And maybe you're not going to get it through this witness, right? Do you have somebody else who knows Eric and besides Kouri, somebody else who knows Eric and who has seen him pop pills, right? His family is not going to say that. This gentleman is an LDS church member. He's not going to say that. I mean, he's going to be honest. I find him very honest. Miss Nestor, ma'am.
The redirect testimony.
Which
Where,
piece?
where he answered the question that I'm not now being allowed to impeach him on. We're asking to strike it at the very minimum. All of the things that Mr. Bloodworth just brought up all go to weight, not admissibility.
What else?
What is the non-hearsay route for this witness to testify regarding what he heard, if it's coming in for the truth of the matter, sir?
It's not. It's coming in to impeach that once the court allowed him to answer that question with hearsay, to rebut the hearsay that we elicited unintentionally.
What's the evidence that he heard
Right.
prior to today, testifying today, that Eric Richins used illicit street drugs.
He just testified to it on the stand.
That is not true.
Okay, well, we agree to disagree on that, Your Honor.
Have you disclosed that expert that would provide a non-speculative basis that Red Devils are an illicit street drug?
We have disclosed that expert. His name is Mr. Kearney. He is on our list. He's been available. We did not know the Red Devil stuff was coming in until 10 minutes ago because
It's
we were
not
told.
coming in.
Well, okay. Well, that's obvious then. I mean, we did the best we could. We gave him our drug expert that as soon as the Red Devils comes in, we can let them talk to him about that because we sure would go into that with our expert. That we're now being denied the ability to do that. There is a key question here, Your Honor. If Eric Richins had a drug problem, and if he did, Ms. Richins is innocent, and we are being prohibited from going into that with the one person who knows. And I just think that the veracity of this witness on this topic cannot be underestimated for purposes of the defense. I know you disagree with us. I believe I've made my record. Yes, he's changed his story. He's now saying he's never heard that Eric used drugs when he knows in the prelim that he did. And I just think this is just a huge, huge impediment to us to put on a fair trial in this case. And I believe I've made my record.
Your Honor, you're impeding us from putting on this trial. You're impeding us from doing our job. Wah, wah, wah. Your Honor, we can't do our job. You won't let us put in evidence that doesn't follow the rules. We're trying to follow the rules. You're not letting us.
I can't think of anything else I need to say on the record. Thank you for letting me make a proffer.
Okay. Are you asking me to strike Mr. Wright's answer that he's never heard that Eric used illicit street drugs?
Yes.
On which basis? On what basis?
Right.
On the fact I'm not allowed to impeach him on it, and we all know it's not a correct answer.
You certainly can.
You
impeach him
can't
on it
do
if you
that.
have any evidence that it's impeachable.
Right.
No, any-
Where's your evidence?
Other than what we've already heard.
Okay.
Can
I want to be clear. There's just no evidence that Kouri Wright believes that Red Devils are.
Hey. Do you know how we can do this? Do you know? Psst, do you know how we can get this evidence in? He's not listening to me. What do you think? What do you think? How do we get this evidence in? If you thought you could get the evidence in, you'd have gotten it in by now, the two of you. You also got Mr. Ramos over there, too. And the other dude behind you whispering in your ear.
Illicit street drugs.
But he separated the Red Devils from the popping pills. He separated that.
No,
He
with
did.
respect, he didn't. But okay.
Well, I think the transcript will reflect it.
All right. We pause. Anything further?
Wow, this judge is so patient. He's trying so hard to be fair on both ends. And he's just like, it doesn't exist. You can't create things that don't exist. Oh, Miss Nestor. I appreciate you trying so hard. But I mean, if you were on the flip side, you would be stating the same things that the prosecution is stating. Like, Your Honor, this isn't.
Mr. Bloodworth, a direct question. I need to exercise a measure of humility here. Is the state sure that you don't want to just get this out on the record to insulate the potential of a verdict on appeal?
That's a good question.
You now know what Mr. Wright's going to say.
Wow. Oh. Wow. Wow. So he is saying, the judge is saying that this could be an appellate issue. And do you want to get ahead of this now? Oh. Mr. Bloodworth, what are you gonna say? You gonna roll the dice?
I'm happy to give you a moment.
Yes, Your Honor, let me take a moment to confer. Can I make a record on one thing, though?
Sure.
Let me read to the court the expert disclosures. It relates to.
I don't know that we need to get into that at this moment. I won't be basing anything I do on that.
Okay, then.
Thank you.
Can I step back?
Of course.
Wow. Okay. This is a huge and critical moment. Why? Because the defense is like, listen, this is an appellate issue, Your Honor. This is, our right to confront this witness on XYZ, and you're not allowing us to do that. So we're making a record that you didn't do this. And the judge obviously is like, I'm standing by what I say. This is not admissible. There's no evidence to prove one way or the other. These are illicit drugs or whatever the specificities this is, right? And now he's asking the prosecution, do you want to stand by this too? Because it could come up on appeal and make me right back here where we began. They have made a lot of objections for the records. I mean, he stands by it, but it's very important.
We're off the record.
Wow. Let's zoom and see if they got bad. Oh, they did. Okay, let's see.
Anything else before we invite?
Okay, let's see.
Thank you.
Please proceed.
Your Honor, the state is comfortable with the court's ruling in the record.
Okay.
So I thought.
Court stands on its ruling. Anything else before we invite Mr. Wright back in and the jury? Mr. Bloodworth?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Nestor?
Can't remember. Did we?
I'm not persuaded that
No,
you've provided a basis to strike Mr. Wright's statement that he's never been told that Eric Richins used illicit street drugs.
I understand your ruling. I just can't remember how he ended it with the witness because so much has happened. So
I think you had the witness on recross.
but I approached before I recrossed.
Right.
Okay, thank you for helping me remember.
Do you have any recross questions within the
Can you
scope
just-
of redirect?
Can you give me just 1 minute?
Of course.
Wow. So this is very important, right? This is what this is all about. This is all about learning the processes of, what can and cannot come into evidence. It's also when I talked about learning or thinking quick on your feet. These lawyers have to know the law. They have to know what's come in, what hasn't come in. They have to know the transcript, right? Because that's what they're looking at. They're looking at the transcript of what he said in pretrial motions, and what his testimony was there. And then obviously they've already parsed out that he couldn't say that, but now perhaps the prosecution opened up the door. You have to follow the letters of the law, right? And if you don't, then there's a problem. And if you're introducing just anything willy-nilly, it's the wild, wild west. Right? We talked about the wild, wild west earlier today at the Aaron Spencer discussion.
Very good. If we could invite the jury back in, please.
Well, do you want Mr. Dude to get back on the stand? Where's Mr. Wright? Where's your witness?
Have a seat as you come in. All right, folks, have a seat. Mr. Wright, if you would take the stand again, I'd appreciate it. Mr. Wright, you're still under oath. Ms. Nestor, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're almost done. You mentioned just now to Mr. Bloodworth, or a few minutes ago, it's been a minute now, that you were aware that Eric used THC gummies, right?
I heard that he did that. Yes.
Okay. Do you have any personal knowledge as to how often he would use THC gummies?
No idea.
Do you know why he used them?
I couldn't tell you that. I don't know why he would have used them.
And do you have any personal knowledge about where he obtained his gummies from?
0.
So that was just a part of his life he didn't share with you.
Correct.
And on the truck, when you sent whoever, I know you said you don't remember, Mr. Bloodworth just talked to you about a date. The work truck, not the red one, but the work truck, you guys got that just within a day or two after he passed, correct?
The work truck was picked up within a few days.
Okay. And then the truck that you took from the dealership was about a month later.
Or so, yeah,
Okay.
months later.
I just wanted to make that clarification. Thank you. That's all I have. We tender the witness, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. Are we releasing this witness, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, sir, you are free to go. You are released.
Wow.
Anybody you'd like. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Oh my goodness. Wow. What a lot. And I feel bad for the jury because they just have no clue as to what's happening behind the scenes. But that's good because they shouldn't have context of this because it is, I mean, it's obviously damaging information. And again, it's so far removed. It's 20 years ago or however many years ago they went to high school, right? Usually you have to have it within a time frame of the decedents, right? Unless you know of a long time use, etc., right? And the coroner testified they didn't see any long time abuse, so it is what it is. All right, so why is she continuing to ask about the trucks, right? So the first truck was the brown truck. The brown truck was taken just like the 7th of I don't have it. Yeah, the 7th. The brown truck was taken on March the 7th, just a couple of days after Eric passed. And then the red truck was picked up whenever it was at the Chevrolet dealership being serviced. How and or why? Because they're part of the defense is that the police didn't do their due diligence, right? They didn't look in Eric's truck. They didn't look in either of the trucks, etc. And what could have been found in the trucks? Perhaps there could have been drugs in the vehicles, right? I don't know. I mean, I would be speculating beyond speculation at this moment. So I'm not going to speculate. We're just going to continue on.
Mr. Bloodworth, the state's next witness, please.
All right.
Your Honor, the state calls Matthew Throckmorton.
Mr. Throckmorton. When I told you that there are some fabulous names in this case, Mr. Throckmorton, Mr. Bloodworth, there were a couple more I forgot. Just like, wow, these are just typical names you don't see. I think Mr. Throckmorton is, I think he's a money man, accountant. I'm not 100% sure. I forgot his.
Mr. Throckmorton, if you'd step in front of Brittany, we'll get you sworn in.
He's coming in with a binder.
If you'll please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury? Thank you. Have a seat.
This lady back here with the green is very interesting. I don't know exactly what she has in her hair. She stands out. If you want to get noticed, lady,
Please proceed.
I noticed
Thank
you.
Your Honor.
Happy early
Please
St.
state your
Patrick's
full
Day.
name and spell
Or
your
maybe you like
last
the
name
color
for
green.
record.
My name is George Matthew Throckmorton. That's THROCKMORTON.
Sir, are you employed?
Yes, I
How?
work full-time for the Salt Lake City Police Department in the crime lab as a crime scene investigator with a specialty in forensic document examination.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I knew he was a document dude, but I couldn't remember where he was from. So he actually works for the city. So he's a big to-do.
How long have you been with Salt Lake City as a crime scene?
27 years.
And what is
He's a document
forensic
dude.
Document examiner.
Forensic document examiner is an individual who examines and compares writing in an attempt to determine identity, authorship, or authenticity. This includes the examination of handwriting, erasures, inks, papers, basically anything related to documents.
So how long have you been doing that, forensic document examination?
30 years.
Okay. Did you have any special training that you've done just specifically for FDE?
Yes. I apprenticed with my father, George Throckmorton. It's about 4,000 hours of training in casework and study over a 2-year time period. I also trained with other document examiners at the Southwestern Association of Forensic Document Examiners. I completed courses through the Institute of Applied Science in Chicago. I also was trained at the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia,
Oh,
and have trained with other document examiners and attended courses and conferences throughout the United States.
wow.
Have you practiced this FDE or forensic document examination with other labs?
No, just pretty much my own.
So did you do something with the state lab in Montrose, Colorado?
I did train with other document examiners at the state lab in Montrose.
Okay. So you didn't practice, you were in training?
It was part of my apprenticeship.
I see. Okay. Have you had to maintain continuing training
Yes,
in the intervening years?
yes. I've attended various courses and conferences put on throughout the United States.
Have you given presentations yourself at such conferences?
Yes, I've actually been a guest instructor at Salt Lake Community College, as well as the University of Utah at the Law Department. I've trained at the Utah Post Academy, helping police officers understand what a forensic document examiner is and how they can help them with their cases. I've also trained employees at American Express to detect potential forgeries. And I've also taught classes at the IAI, which is the International Association for Identification. That's the largest and oldest forensic organization in the world.
Are you a member of that organization?
Yes, I am.
Do you remember the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks? And he was a forger, and he was forging checks. Forging checks, is that a word? Anyways, I think it was called Catch Me If You Can. I imagine this gentleman is very similar to that.
Do you belong to a particular section?
He
of
said
the IAI?
documents.
Yes, I belong to the question document
Do
section.
checks.
So over the last 30 years, this may seem like kind of a dopey question, but have you
Documents?
ever had the opportunity to examine question documents?
Yes, I've worked on over 1,500 individual cases over 30 years.
And have you ever testified in court as a forensic document examiner?
I've testified 61 times, 48 times as a question document examiner.
In the world of forensic document examination, are there some basic underlying principles upon which the science rests?
Yes, that no two people write exactly the same way. That's to say, no two individuals share all the same characteristics and habits, given the proper quantity and quality of documents to compare to show that their writing is different.
Okay, before we move on to the second one, I wanted to just very briefly go into this idea of habits. When you're talking about, what do you mean by habits of writing? I guess just have you explain it.
Habits are part of an individual's writing where most of the time they really don't even know what those habits are. They're just writing, trying to create either a letter or they're signing their name. And as they have learned to write over the years, they pick up different characteristics and habits within that writing. That could be how they cross the T is the crown at the top of the staff, medium part of the staff, or down closer to the baseline. When they write an ER combination, for example, is the E bigger than the R or vice versa? Are those two letters connected, or is there a pen lift between those two letters? Is the U more rounded or a little more pointed? So they just develop and use these habits as they write different types of things or sign their name.
So when we first learn to write, we're writing careful what our teacher is teaching us. And then as we go on later in life, we become more concerned with the content and not the formation of the letters. Those are just subject to habit.
That is correct. We learn a textbook style of writing in school. We're just trying to duplicate what we see. Again, more concerned with making it look like how we see it. And again, concentrating, like you said, more on what it looks like. As our skill level increases, we're more concerned with the content of what we're writing, whether it's assigning our name or whether it's the letter that we're trying to write to somebody. And the longer we write, those characteristics and habits just become muscle memory to us, and we don't necessarily think about how we're writing letters and formations. We're more concerned with what we're writing.
Okay, we've talked about individuality. What's the other principle upon which your science rests?
That an individual can't make all of the variables the same to make two pieces of writing the same as one another. There's always going to be a natural variation that occurs as we write our name. You're not going to find two signatures that are an overlay. There's always going to be a little bit of difference in how those look or in a body of writing.
Okay, so are there studies out there where researchers have looked at these principles?
Yes.
Okay. Could you very briefly go into this idea of individuality?
Absolutely. There was a study done called Cedar Fox out of the University of Buffalo in New York. And the premise of the study was to test the theory that no two people share all of the same characteristics and habits within their writing. And what they did is they had 1,500 participants of varying ethnic backgrounds, age, and gender. The objective was to make it similar to what the population and makeup was for the United States. They had these 1,500 individuals write some handwriting specimens. These specimens were put into a computer. They picked 8 characteristics out of the writing and had the computer analyze those 8 characteristics. It was determined with a 98% confidence level that no two individuals wrote those 8 characteristics exactly the same way.
Okay. Are there studies that have looked at the ability of a trained document examiner versus lay people on their abilities?
Yes, there's been a number of studies over the years. Cedar Fox also did a study of twins, again, to differentiate if the writing of twins could be
Kouri, she's like, oh my gosh, could you just tell me what I forged, please? Let's just get to it.
seen as it was different one from another. In that particular study, they hired lay people to do the examination. The computer did an examination, and they also had intern document examiners look and do those comparisons. In that particular study, it was determined that the computer had about a 9% error rate in differentiating writing one twin from another. It was determined that the lay people had a larger percentage of an error rate, and that the intern document examiners had about a 5% error rate in differentiating writing one from another.
Those are interns, not fully trained. Okay.
Correct.
Now, were there some studies known as CAM being one of the authors of these studies that also looked into the abilities of a trained examiner versus layperson?
Yes, Professor Moshe Kam out of Drexel University did a number of studies. And
I
in his
sped this
studies,
up.
he had lay people do examinations as well as document examiners, from intern to those that had completed the 4,000 hours of training. Throughout his studies, he determined that
Very
lay
interesting.
people made larger mistakes in doing their examinations, and that document examiners, starting as interns, going to the fully trained, that their error rates were less than the lay people, and that the fully trained document examiners had about a 4% error rate.
Okay. Now, how could you explain to the jury what you do in this comparison process?
Yes. In this particular case, I was given.
Just very briefly, generally, you receive question documents and known documents?
Correct. I receive a stack of documents. First of all, I separate the question from the known. I go over each page individually, looking for comparison between whatever has been questioned versus the undisputed known samples that I receive. I compare my findings one from another. Then I evaluate those findings in order to render an opinion.
So this process, does it include digitizing the documents? Say they come on paper, do you reduce them to some digital format?
I scan everything first of all, to preserve the evidence. Documents, I'll scan the whole document, and as well as the signatures or the questionnaire individually, and then same with the known samples.
I see. And when you're doing that, do you then do a side-by-side comparison, or do you do one, a question and then knowns? How does that work?
Yes, I do a juxtaposition examination, which is comparing the question versus the known side by side, looking for similarities and differences that may be amongst the writing.
Okay. What are you looking for? These habits you mentioned before?
Yes, I'm looking for everything in the writing, just looking for, again, similarities and differences, looking for evidence that will basically say, was this authored by the same person, or was it authored by two different people? I look for letter formations. I look for proportion between letters. I look for where the writing sits within a margin. Is it closer to the right, left? Is it on, above, or below a baseline? Looking for shading, where darker areas of the writing may be. Just basically looking for everything on the documents to compare.
Okay, so when you're doing this comparison, do you consider the underlying facts of the case you're working on?
No, I just look at the evidence sitting in front of me. Usually I'm asked, does the question in own writing, were they authored by the same person? So I'm looking specifically for evidence one way or another on that.
What kind of medicine do you practice?
When IAI, or I think you've mentioned earlier, you talked about the Southwest Association of Forensic Document Examiners, SWIGDoc, or somebody, does somebody give you a set of standards for your conclusions?
Yes, there's a set of standardized opinions that initially was put together in 1977 by the ABFDE, the American Board of Forensic Document Examiners. In 2016, SWGDoc, which is the Scientific Working Group for Forensic Documents, took that standardized group of opinions and made it their own.
Okay.
And that's the scale that I use today.
Okay. Can we briefly review what that scale is?
Sure. The first one is an identification. Identification means that the questioned and known signatures agree in every observable detail and that there's no unexplainable differences or variations present. The opinion below that is highly probable or strong probability.
That it was authored by that person?
By the same person, correct.
Okay.
And that means that there was either something that was different between the question known. It might be a feature was missing, the way a letter was connected. It also might be the difference looking from an original document to a copy of a document. That I didn't have the original, I was only looking at a copy, I didn't have best evidence. So because I can't tell the origin of the document, I'll drop that down from an identification to a highly probable or strong probability. The opinion below that is a probable, and a probable means that a majority of the evidence says that the question and known document was authored by the same person. But the reason that it would be dropped to a probable could be, again, that it's a copy, could be that there were signatures that were out of the timeline than the question document was. So I don't have maybe current documents to look at. The opinion under that is an indication. And an indication means that most of the evidence says that the question and known were authored by the same person, but again, might be dealing with a copy, might not have as many signatures as I would like to have in doing that comparison. So it drops it to an indications. The next opinion is a no conclusion. And this is basically, I couldn't tell one way or the other whether it was authored or not authored by who it purports to be.
Then it continues towards exclusion in a reverse sequence. So indications it was not authored by, followed by probable not authored by, highly probable not authored by, and then an exclusion.
Okay, so why is this relevant? Who is this person? Why is it relevant? Well, he is going to, so as you saw through some witnesses like Kouri Richins, she's like, I have obtained these records that have Eric's signature on them. Remember, there's that binder. And then her husband testified that he got some documents. And then the business partner just testified, I got some documents. They took all these documents and gave it to Mr. Throckmorton to see whether or not Kouri forged some of Eric's signatures, etc. And what did she do and what didn't she do? Now, this goes to that charge of insurance fraud, right? The defense can get their own witness to say, nope, it wasn't her, it was someone else, or it was Eric or whatever. And so it's going to be a battle of the experts. I don't know if they have an expert coming in. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see the witness list. So we'll see how it plays out.
Elimination. That's the version. Okay.
Elimination.
In your process, then do you somehow try to verify what your opinion is?
Yes.
How do you do that?
Usually I'll contact a peer, another forensic document examiner, and have them review a blind examination of the same evidence that I looked at.
What is a blind view?
That means that they don't know what my opinion is, that they're going to do their own examination and come up with their own conclusion.
Okay. Now, are these the principles and methods accepted in your field?
Yes.
And are those the methods and principles that you applied in this case?
Yes.
Okay. So did you receive a question in writing in this case?
I did.
Okay. Can we, I think it's been offered and accepted, 7-21.
One moment, please. Would you like to
Did
publish this?
she forge something? Dun, 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 dun.
Okay. Let's.
All right. So this is the application. Oi. The application. Hang on. All right. Can you please just. Oh, now don't be doing that. Okay. So this is the application for the life insurance.
Just scroll through it from top to bottom just to refresh the jury. Okay. So that's page 2. Let's go return then to page 1. Do you recognize this, sir?
Yes, I do.
Is this the question document?
Yes.
Okay. Now, What did you receive? A copy or an original? And if a copy, what type of copy?
I believe on this one I had a PDF copy.
Okay. Is that a good thing or a bad thing for your purposes?
PDF is not the best quality of document.
Why is that?
First of all, obviously best evidence is the original document.
Okay.
Next best evidence would be a photocopy of that document.
Okay.
And then a PDF comes after a regular photocopy.
Sure, but what is it because of when? Is there some
Hey,
limitation on
Mitty.
PDFs for your purposes?
Yes.
All right. I have to take a break. The kitty cats are looking for to be fed again. So hold on just a second. Let me bring this up with the music. Okay, that's not what I was looking for, and I hope I didn't ruin your eardrums. All right, be right back. Okay. I'm back. Oops. Let's see. How did I get this? All right, testing, testing. I hope you can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Da-na-na-na-na-na. All right. Let's get back. Let's get back. Back again.
If I could talk about photocopies first.
Sure.
A photocopy is a distorted picture of an original document. The problem with a photocopy is it's a picture that is slightly smaller than the original document. There is, the colors are not as vivid or clear. The tones may be less vivid as well. In some cases, in photocopies, writing pen strokes can diminish and in some cases disappear. There's also marks that can appear on the photocopy that weren't on the original document. These are called trash marks. Trash marks can occur from damage or dirt on the scanner glass, as well as wear and tear on the inner workings of a photocopy machine. So it's going to change or alter the evidence a little bit. The PDF has a lot of the same problems with it. The problem with the PDF is there's no default setting. So depending on the software or where it was made, if it was made on a computer with a scanner, or if it was made on a copy machine, or in some cases a cell phone, it changes and alters the document, makes it so that kind of the overall appearance looks good, but if you were to try and enlarge or zoom in to a particular area, it will pixelize and get rid of some of the finer details that you would have in the original or in a copy.
Okay, so in this case, did you receive some known documents?
Yes, I did.
Okay, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
I'm handing the witness what's been marked as State's Exhibit 8-49. Can you take a look at that and review it for a moment?
Counsel, my apologies for interrupting your question. Make a note of this one. We'll come back to it. I need to take a quick break.
Yes.
Please rise for the jury.
Jury out. What's going on? Does the judge need to take a break?
Mr. Throckmorton, you take a 5-minute break. We'll just say until 11:40. All right. Please do not speak to anyone during the break.
Yes, sir.
I know you've done this before.
Yes.
Very good, sir. Thank you. We'll be in recess until 11:40. Thank you. Court's off the record.
Does he need to go take a potty break? I don't know how they're going to get through all these witnesses today if they continue this. And I had a lot of Zoom room.
Please have a seat as you come in.
Jury in. Jury in.
Have a seat. Thank you. I promise I'm paying attention to the temperature. We're trying to adjust as we go. Mr. Throckmorton, you're still under oath. Mr. Burmester, please proceed.
Sir, this State's Exhibit 849, have you had a chance to look through the various documents that are in 849?
Not yet.
I wonder if, like, in the digital age now, that people don't retain original documents because it's like too bulky and you got to like put it in storage and stuff, and that costs money. Whereas if you just go ahead and scan things in, is it cheaper to have it in your data banks?
Do those look familiar to you, sir?
Yes.
How are they familiar?
These were the undisputed known samples that I received in preparation to compare the signature on the true stage to the signatures and initials found in these known documents.
And signatures?
Correct.
Okay. And where did you get them from?
A majority of these documents were received from Katie's attorneys. And
Is that the law firm Bennett Tuller?
yes,
And so initially, were you hired by the trust or the Tuller or
I was
for
hired by
Katie?
the attorneys at Bennett Tueller,
Okay.
who were working for Katie, Eric's sister.
And how much were you paid by the
I received
Bennett Tueller?
a $900 retainer to help with that.
Since that time, have you been hired by Summit County?
Yes, I have.
Can you briefly describe what is this collection of documents that are contained in 849?
There was canceled checks, driver's licenses, just various documents that Eric had authored and signed over the course of his regular daily activities.
Was there a trust and a will?
There might be amongst the documents.
Okay.
There's also tax documents
I
and
see.
receipts.
I see. Okay. Now there were some other documents like they appear to be like photographs, maybe of a journal, a mission journal,
Yes,
and a photograph of some appear to be written coupons.
yes.
Those documents, where did you get them?
I received them from your office.
Chelsea Gibson? to be
That's
precise?
correct.
Okay. How did that delivery?
Oh boy.
She met me at the Salt Lake City Police Department in the parking lot and gave me a thumb drive that contained all of those photographs.
Okay. The other documents, the ones from Bennett Tueller, were they paper or were they electronic?
There were some hard copies and there were also some digital PDFs that were sent to me.
Did you go, well, let me ask this. How many actual signatures of Eric Richins did you receive in all those documents contained in 849?
I found that there were 86 signatures and 24 sets of initials.
And did you do a comparison like you described earlier with the digitizing and then going through the analyze, compare, evaluate, verification?
Yes, I compared the question signature versus the 86 known signatures and 24 initials, looking for similarities and differences.
Were you able to come to a conclusion yourself?
Yes, I was.
And did you send that out for a verification, a blind, as you said, a blind verification?
Yes.
To whom?
To my friend in Colorado, her name is Darla McCleary Celentano.
And was she able to come to a conclusion?
Object to hearsay.
Yeah, would you approach for a moment, Mr. Burmester?
Okay. Let's take a look. Did you prepare a slide for the jury to look at in preparation for your trial or for trial today?
Yes.
Okay. Let me take a look at just
Prepare demonstrative.
8-28, please.
Let's take a look.
The witness has it.
Okay. Do you recognize that, sir?
Yes, I do.
Would that be helpful in communicating your testimony today?
Yes.
State would ask.
Oh
would offer
boy.
State's Exhibit 8-28 and ask. for
Did
permission.
she forge the documents?
828 is admitted, and
Let's see.
Okay.
Oh,
Let's set aside 828. Well, why don't you orient us first?
oh, interesting.
828 is an exhibit that shows the question signature at the top, taken from the true stage document.
Okay.
And the Q stands for question, 3 is the series of documents, page is page 2, and A is the first signature used on that document. The signatures, the 10 signatures below are samples taken from the known signatures that I received and initials to compare. Again, K stands for known, 1 stands for the group of documents, P stands for the page, so page 2, and again, A is the first signature on that page that was used.
So 849 is all the Ks, and this particular one is from the first tab.
Correct.
I see. Okay. Now, let's take a look at 7-21, please. This is page 2 of 721.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, which looks like there's a couple signatures on this page. What one were you focusing on?
The one on the right, the one that purports to be Eric.
And then, so did you take the one from the true stage and then put it into your exhibit?
Correct.
Okay. And that's the one that we have. We just don't have, you didn't add the data that it was given.
That's correct.
Okay. All right, thank you. We can go back to 828, please. Were you able to come to a conclusion?
Yes.
Okay, what was that conclusion?
My conclusion was that there was no evidence that Eric authored this signature
Okay,
and that he probably did not, and that it appeared to be a simulated forgery written by somebody who was familiar, had access to his writing in an attempt to copy, draw, or duplicate his signature and try and pass it off as a genuine signature of Eric.
okay. I want to, we'll come back to this in 1 second. Your Honor, could the witness step down with a microphone? And let's just look at 828 for a moment. While I'm thinking of it.
Go back to the microphone.
Yellow. It looks like it's been highlighted. Has it been highlighted?
No. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No, that one came from an NCR copy. It was a yellow piece of paper. All I did was crop the signature off that paper to put it on this document.
All right. Could you explain to the jury how your analysis went?
Sure. First thing, in looking at the question signature on this, it's basically EER. And the way that the E is formed starts at the top, comes down, creates the first semicircle, comes to a point, and then comes back down towards the baseline. When it gets to the baseline, it shoots off to the right. Then a line comes down towards the baseline, continues up to create the second E, which is leaning a little further over. This E is not as defined, a little more loosely made. When we get to the second portion of the E, it shoots over to the right to start the letter R, which creates a kind of a triangle formation there, then goes up and creates kind of an arc, kind of more square than normal, comes back down towards the baseline towards the baseline, and then shoots off over to the right and terminates. A couple things that stuck out to me on this signature. This is what's called a one-stroke signature. That means that the writing instrument starts and continues all the way through to the end. There are no pen lifts. As well, within the signature, things that stick out again is their pen lifts are not found here. If you look at the known samples from Eric, you'll notice that there's a pen lift between each of the letters, a pen lift between the E and the E, a pen lift between the E and the R. And that's a consistent characteristic and habit that Eric has. The other thing too is the second E actually starts at the baseline. You'll notice that on the known E's, the E's start up top in a normal fashion. That they always start at the top. They don't start at the baseline like this one does. The other thing too to note is this R, again, where it's connected, it actually starts down closer to the baseline and then comes up. You'll notice in these E's or in the R's that they start at the top like we traditionally learn how to do in school. You've got a line that comes down, pen comes off the paper, and then the second part of the R is made. You can see the staff of the R here, staff here. So a couple things that stuck out to me that were not common among his writing, again, is we've got a single one-stroke signature instead of pen lifts. The E, second E starts at the bottom at the baseline, and the R starts at the bottom of the baseline. It was by looking at these characteristics in comparison that I was able to render an opinion that the question and known signatures were not authored by the same person.
Okay. Take a seat, please. Now, your opinion was that it was probably not signed by Eric Richins. Why probably not, as opposed to elimination?
Because I was dealing with a photocopy, the true stage was a photocopy of a document. Basically, I'm missing evidence. So as a conservative opinion, instead of an absolute elimination, it's closer to a little weaker than that. So it was a probable as well. I couldn't identify who the author of that signature was. In the case of a simulated forgery, the author gives up their own habits and characteristics to try and copy, draw, or duplicate somebody else's. So because I was not able to determine who was authoring this, basically I came back to that there was no evidence that Eric did it, but I couldn't determine who actually authored it.
Okay, so your final conclusion then is also that there is no evidence, that you can find nothing in the knowns that would support the question document signed by Eric.
That's correct.
Okay. That's all the questions that I have for this witness. I have in front of
Yes,
the jury,
Jester.
of course.
May it please the court. Almost good afternoon, good morning still, sir.
Good morning.
My name's Kathy Nestor. I'm one of the attorneys representing Kouri Richins.
Okay.
So I want to first talk about your, I guess we call it your curriculum vitae, which is a fancy way of saying your resume, right?
Correct.
And I reviewed that that you gave to us. And can you tell me, sir, is there a difference between a document fraud examiner and a certified forensic document examiner? I said it wrong the first time. I'm going to get it right. Forensic document examiner is your title, correct?
That's correct.
And is there a difference between a forensic document examiner and a certified forensic document examiner?
Certified examiner is somebody that belongs to an organization that they pay and that they recognize him or them or her as part of their group.
It's not just payment. They also take a test, right?
Depends on the organization.
And in fact, there was an organization, there's an organization that accredits these organizations, and it's called the Forensic Specialties Accreditation Board. Is that right? Do you know what that is?
That's one of them.
And they are people who accredit these organizations to certify people, right?
Yes.
And if you go to one of these accredited organizations, and I'm going to just read some examples and see if you're familiar with them. The Board of Forensic Document Examiners, is that one of them?
There's an American Board of Forensic Document Examiners.
Okay. And are you also aware there's just a Board of Forensic Document Examiners?
I haven't looked into that one.
And Scientific Association of Forensic Examiners, SAFE?
I've heard of them.
Okay. And the International Association of Document Examiners, IADE?
I've heard of them.
And the National Association of Document Examiners, have you heard of them?
Yes.
And the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners, ACFE?
Not familiar with them.
Okay. And all these are groups that provide ways for forensic document examiners to become certified, and they're accredited by this Specialties Accreditation Board, right?
Yes.
And the way that they become credited, certainly they have to pay a membership fee. You're right about that. But they take an exam, right?
I assume so.
And they're given a bunch of samples that are peer reviewed by others to see if they agree that their analysis are good, right?
Correct. That would be the process.
And they do an oral board where they answer questions and respond to like on the spot testing of their skills.
Objection, Your Honor. Foundation. Is that, he said he doesn't know.
Well, so far, there hasn't been a foundation problem. Ask him whether he knows, which I think is what you're doing.
And it appears to me by your answers, you know about all of this process, right?
There's a lot of organizations out there that people can join, even people that haven't been properly trained.
Right. And by being certified by any of these organizations that are accredited, that's an extra security and assurance to your customers and your clients that you've been screened, you've been vetted, and you've been certified that you're good at what you do, right?
It can be.
And you've never, ever done that in your whole career, have you?
No.
You've chosen not to ever seek certification.
Correct. Never gone for it.
Why?
And you do agree that the forensic science that you're involved in of handwriting analysis involves a lot of using your own best judgment, right?
Judgment based on experience and training. Absolutely.
But your judgment, your analysis.
Yes. And I've been properly trained in order to know how to use that judgment.
Okay. And certainly you agree that not every single forensic evaluator is going to come to the exact same conclusion by looking at the exact same writing. Is that fair?
I don't know that I agree with that. It would, again, depend on how much training they've had. It depends on who they were trained by. It is possible that individuals aren't going to have the exact same opinion as me.
Sure. And it also depends on the quality of the sample you're given, right?
Correct.
And original is best, right?
Yes.
One copy later after the original is a little worse, right?
There's about a 1 to 3% distortion rate from an original to a first generation photocopy.
And do you know which generation photocopy you were given?
I have no idea.
You know how many times it was photocopied?
No.
Do you know how many times it was faxed?
It didn't appear to be faxed, but no.
Okay. Do you know, and you never got a paper, you got a PDF sent to
Objection,
you.
Foundation.
These are yes or no questions overruled. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Right.
You got a PDF sent to you on email, right? You don't even get a document.
For this document, that's correct.
Right. And if we could please bring back up 8-4 and go to the page ending in 781. I believe this is.
So these are really good questions from her, right? She's really, first of all, she's questioning his authority as far as, are you an expert, blah, 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 blah. And she can question that because that's what experts, you're able to question them about how experty are they. And then just as he said, this isn't an original. So, based off of that, she's challenging his
Your Honor.
ability,
Can you make sure?
his diagnosis, his.
Not yet.
And again, this is for the
No,
battle
I'm
of the
sorry, no.
experts,
Just
right?
for his review only, Your Honor.
The witness has 8-4.
781, I think it's like maybe the fourth or fifth page. Let's just kind of scroll. That one right there. So this page that you're looking at, is this a page that you included in your report that you submitted to the prosecution in this case?
Yes.
All right. And can we blow it up just to the extent you can a little bit, please, so he can see the body of it? Okay. And these are the levels of certainty that you talked about with Mr. Burmester, right? From the strongest opinion to the weakest opinion.
Yeah, it's not a scale based on pass or fail, but it helps the examiner to express his opinion as
Okay.
a whole.
So it's the standards that you typically use in your reports.
Yes.
And the best report you can give somebody is elimination. I can say 100% this person did not write this, right?
Or identification, depending on,
Which one you're doing.
correct.
In or out, 100%, it's definitely not them.
I don't use percentages.
Okay, but that's your strongest.
Correct.
Elimination or identification are your two strongest opinions you can give, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and then you can also give an opinion of strong probability did not, right?
Correct.
And that's not quite as good as I'm sure, but a little less than I'm sure, right?
It means all of the evidence says, in the one you're using, that the question unknown were not authored by the same person, and that there's some feature that's missing. In this case, it's that it's a copy and not an original.
But you didn't use that. You didn't reach that conclusion in this case, right?
Correct.
So let's go to the next one. The next level of certainty is probably did not.
Correct.
Probably did not. And that is what you decided in this case, right? That
That's correct.
Eric probably did not sign that true stage, right?
Correct.
And can you read to me, or it's not in, but is it fair to say that probably did not means it's not quite up to virtually certain, right? Isn't that fair?
Correct.
And that is what you have reported with your training and your opinions, your expert opinions, that Eric probably did not sign that true stage document.
There was no evidence he signed it.
And you cannot say that Kouri did sign it, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, by saying that, you have no personal knowledge whether Kouri Richins was given permission by Eric to sign his name.
Objection.
Do you?
Sure.
Information to suggest one.
Oops,
So just to
sorry.
repeat the question, you have no knowledge and you weren't given any information to suggest one way or another whether Kouri had permission to sign her husband's name to that.
Correct.
So you don't know that.
I was not asked that, and that was not part of the examination.
And I see you're a married man
Yes.
on your wedding ring.
Yep.
And does your wife ever sign your name on anything?
Objection.
Objection.
A little bit beyond the scope of this gentleman's
Yes.
testimony. Go ahead. What's your
Okay.
next question? It's his name.
And is it my understanding from your resume that you no longer do forensic document examinations for the Salt Lake City Police Department?
That's correct.
When did you stop doing that?
2020, I believe.
And is that the reason you stopped connected at all to an internal affairs investigation against you for falsifying documents?
No.
Did you, in fact, were you submitted to an internal affairs investigation for falsifying documents?
Objection, Your Honor. Can we approach? Please?
Sure.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Probably won't get it in because it doesn't have anything to do. But, oh, Miss Kouri, are we a little confident now? I missed that. Hang on. Sorry. Miss Corey's given faces and stuff. She's probably not going to be able to get into this.
I need you to restate the question.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Were you subjected to an internal affairs investigation for falsifying documents?
Yes.
Oh,
And were you ultimately exonerated?
Yes.
And was the person who accused you of doing that a law enforcement officer?
He was a retired sergeant who'd been hired back as a supervisor, who was then terminated for a number of issues.
So you were falsely accused by a law enforcement officer?
I was falsely accused by somebody who had been a law enforcement officer, but not at the time they made the complaint.
Thank you for that clarification. Are you aware that the whole science of forensic science of, I'm sorry, just 1 minute.
I don't think he
Aware
was
that
happy
the
about
whole
that question.
Science of forensic document examination has come under fire in the last few years for accuracy and reliability.
Objection, misstates the source. I notice you grabbed her memo. We,
Foundation,
no-
Mr. Burris. Are you objecting on the basis of foundation?
Yes.
Would you lay some foundation, Ms. Nestor?
Certainly, certainly. Your Honor. Are you familiar with the national? I'm sorry.
God. She grabbed a memo, Your Honor. Objection. He's like, that is not a suitable objection. Can I help you here? Is that foundation? Boy.
Sorry. Are you familiar with the National Resource Council report titled Strengthening Forensic Science in the United States, A Path Forward?
I've read it at some point.
And are you aware in that report that they concluded the scientific basis for handwriting comparison needs to be strengthened?
Yes,
Are you aware that they found there's only been limited research to quantify the reliability and replicability of the practices used by trained document examiners?
I read that in there.
Are you also aware of something called the President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology report, the PCAST report?
I'm familiar with it. I probably read it a long time ago.
Do you remember that they expressed concerns regarding the validity and reliability of conclusions made by forensic examiners and called for more empirical testing in the area?
Vaguely.
You talked about an error rate, is that right?
Yes.
And remind me, what is the error rate of non-certified forensic document examiners?
The same as document examiners that have been properly trained.
Do you know that for a fact, or are you assuming that?
I'm assuming that not all document examiners are certified.
Fair.
And that the error rate, if they've been properly trained, apprenticed with the 4,000 hours that are required, that their error rate should be the same,
Which is what?
is less than 4%.
So 4 out of every 100 times they're wrong?
4% of the time they may make an error in their judgment.
Are you aware that the National Institute of Standards and Technology issued a report from an expert working group for human factors and handwriting examination, which found multiple problems with the reliability of handwriting analysis?
I haven't read that.
Okay, Miss Nestor. Okay, we appreciate that. We got it. You need to move on. You're starting to like hammer in some points. Like,
All right, you've referred to the big binder in front of you, which were all of the handwriting samples that you reviewed and included in your report. Is that right?
Yes.
Right. Is that it?
I feel like you've hit your point. I feel like you can move on.
And you relied on all of those documents and concluding whether or not making your decisions about whether Eric's probably did not sign that document?
Yes, I reviewed all 200 pages.
Okay. Can you turn to let me see. Court's indulgence. Can I talk to Mr. Burmester for just a minute?
Of course.
Do you have your own expert that's going to come in?
Looking over the documents, did you include a document? I am so sorry, my throat is fried. No, it's annoying to listen to. Give me just a second.
I think you need a lozenge.
Looking at the documents that you relied upon, was one of the documents titled the My Princess letter?
I did review that, yes.
Right. And what was that?
It was a few pages of writing purportedly written by Kouri.
By Kouri?
Or sorry, no, by Eric. I apologize.
Where did you get that letter?
This exceeds the scope, Your Honor, that
Yeah.
is not in 849.
You're not allowed to go to anything he looked at to form his opinion.
Yeah, I just need clarification for a second.
Yeah. I want to know about the princess letter. What's the princess letter? Oh, we're hitting real time.
So on the My Princess letter, that is something law enforcement gave to you to review in making your opinions, correct?
It was given to me as a question document, not a known sample.
And you were to review it to see who you think wrote it?
That's correct.
And can we pull up for the witness only MT4?
Your Honor, this is now outside the scope clearly because the foundation is,
Yeah,
is not part
I
of it.
misunderstood your position, Ms. Nestor. Would you approach for a minute? My apologies.
I want to see the princess letter. Princess letter. Excuse
When
me,
you were looking at the air.
sir. You're not to be looking at documents while you are on the stand and not being directed. You're reminding me of a certain witness in the Karen Reed case who kept looking at his laptop and his phone. Anybody? Anybody?
Kouri Richins handwriting samples to compare them with a true stage signature. Had you also already reviewed this document?
No,
This came after?
correct.
Oh, okay. Okay. Were you asked to look at any other insurance documents to determine whether or not they had forged signatures on them?
I looked at a number of different documents that were in question.
Okay. And did some of them include insurance documents? Other policies besides the true stage?
There were other documents, but I don't have recollection of how they were related.
So how many documents total were you asked to look at and decide who signed them or who didn't?
Your Honor, can we just clarify if it's a question or a known document? I'm
That
lost.
would be helpful if you could provide a little specificity there.
So just to be clear, there's documents that are called question documents where you're looking at them to decide who you think signed them, right?
Who was the author? Yes.
And then there's known documents where you know for sure through some way they've been validated that that's an actual signature that you can compare.
Correct.
Right. So how many documents, questioned documents were submitted to you for your opinion in this case?
Between the civil and criminal, probably half a dozen or so.
Okay. And the only one that you're here today giving an opinion on is the true stage document?
That's correct.
He's given it. No, I'll just.
Are we objecting? What are we doing?
Court's indulgence for just a moment, Your Honor. I think
Of
I'm
course.
almost done. Just one moment, sir. Okay, last one. Were you ever asked to look at any closing documents for the Midway Mansion to determine the veracity of the signatures on those documents?
Not that I'm aware of.
Thank you. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Within the scope of crops, Mr. Burmester.
Oh my goodness. Clean this up.
You, defense counsel asked if you're certified. Have you, once again, have you testified in a court of law regarding your forensic document examination?
Yes.
How many
48
times?
48 times.
And if you hypothetically, well, let me back up. Hypothetically, if you send your known and questioned documents out for verification, is your action different if you receive back information that their opinion differs from yours? Or you just submit it?
Objection.
Sustained.
The fact that you received a PDF is reflected in your ultimate opinion, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, you're, Ms. Nestor talked to you about that initial report, the status of.
I hear all of you out there questioning Miss Nestor and Miss Lewis about their questioning of a witness and what have you. This gentleman is even worse. He, I can't understand. I can't get to what he's talking about because he's stuttering so much.
Forensic Sciences.
Yes,
That report, do you know when it came out?
off the top of my head, no.
2008-ish or so?
Approximately.
Okay. And it addressed not just handwriting, but DNA, all the sciences, pattern matching sciences,
It reflected a majority of the different forensic sciences.
and gave opinions about steps each of those forensic sciences need to do better at.
Yes, the individuals involved in those were to study various aspects of the different forensic sciences and then come up with possible issues and then how to address those issues to make all of those forensic sciences more sound.
And PCAST came out in 2016. Sound about right?
Sounds about right.
Okay. And it did not mention at all forensic document examination, did it?
I don't recall, but that sounds right.
Identifying an author is difficult if it's a simulated forgery. Is that
That's
what you said?
That's correct.
And why is that?
Because in a simulated forgery, the individual gives up their own habits and characteristics in order to try and copy, draw, or duplicate somebody else's. And so the writing itself is, you can't identify who the author was, just eliminate who it purports to be.
Did you find any evidence at all that Eric Richins signed the True Stage document?
There was no evidence whatsoever.
Thank you.
Just very briefly. Talk about if it's a simulated forgery, people give up their own way they write to try to write like someone else, right?
Yes.
What about people who are intoxicated or under the influence of drugs or alcohol? Does their signature change?
There are a number of factors
Good
that
question.
can affect how a person writes. Drugs and alcohol can change it. In some cases, I've seen where alcohol makes somebody more exaggerated. It can other things that can affect writing is stress, the writing surface, the writing instrument that they use, chronic pain medications that they may be taking. There's a lot of factors associated.
THC, being stoned?
Haven't done specific studies on those, but anything that can affect motor skill could potentially alter how a person writes, but it won't change their characteristics or habits.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. May we release this witness, counsel?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Or you're free to go. You can talk about the case with anyone or no one. It's up to you.
Sounds good. Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
You too.
Counsel, is now an appropriate time for a lunch break.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Nestor?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a break until 1:15. During the break, as always, please do not discuss the case with anyone. Don't let anyone discuss it with you. Please do not read, watch, or listen to any report or any coverage of the case of any kind. And please don't do any research of any kind about the case. Enjoy your lunch break. Please rise for the jury. Oh,
May I ask for an additional 15 minutes?
yes,
Is that okay?
that's fine. Just doing that. 1:30.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, folks. All right, please have a seat. Mr. Bloodworth, anything on the record before we recess for lunch?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Nestor, Ms. Lewis, Mr. Ramos?
Yes, sir.
All right. Folks, if you would make your way out of the courtroom or just stay quiet, I need to do a detention hearing in another case right now. Thank you.
Clear the table, Your Honor?
No, thank you.
All right, they are breaking for lunch. We are on the same time frame as them. They're meaning I have no Zoom room, so I'm actually going to stop this stream right now. So there you have it. It is the end of the first half of the morning of day 10 with the Kouri Richins trial. So what did we glean from this morning? A lot of law stuff behind the scenes. We had the 40th witness was Kouri Wright, Eric's business partner. More or less, he just basically stated how good Eric was. He was a good father. He was a good friend. That there was $200,000 that was a loan for the Franzian project. And he couldn't get into it specifically, but he said it was under a distress, meaning, or you can infer that it was needed for them to to finish out a project. Yes, they got the $200,000 back plus interest. So make with what you want of that. He did know about the change on the insurance as far as who the beneficiary was. He said that Eric was sick and injured, had Lyme disease, but he was a cowboy and he just bucked up and got back to doing his stuff, didn't know anything about illicit drugs, etc. Even though we know behind the scenes he took something in high school, but they didn't get into that. On the 14th, he got a call from Eric saying that it was very serious and there was an urgency. He'd not heard him like that, only on 2 other occasions. There's just the cross-examination just really didn't get into much as far as dispelling some of the things. They did get into the whether or not there was a argument between the two of them because he didn't turn him in. Now we got a clarification on that with the DNR. He didn't turn him in. Somebody else turned him in because he had the wrong tag or didn't have a tag when he killed an elk, which is against the rules. And that when questioned, he answered correctly about being questioned and didn't hide the fact, I guess, that he knew or whatever the circumstances were. And that caused a rift between the two of them, but not enough to like break up the business or break up their friendship, right? And that the trucks were picked up without being looked at by the police, and that lots of people had access to them. And then Mr. Throckmorton basically analyzed the life insurance policy and said that Eric didn't sign it, but couldn't say that Kouri signed it. Make of that as you will. I mean, experts are going to say what they're going to say. That's why you have battle of the experts, and then you figure out which one you think is the more believable one. Sometimes they just wash each other out. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not there's an expert. So that is where we're going to leave it. It is a wonderful day to have live streamed. Thanks for watching. If you're on the replay crew or you're going to watch it later, just go for it. You can scan through the things, see what you want to see, what you don't want to. So thanks for joining me. I'll be back later on, but I won't be live streaming because people will be returning to the house, so I can't do that. But stay tuned because more is to come for the day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Legalese 123. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe for more content.